step into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Very good morning, you beautiful souls. Welcome to it. My name is Graham Richards. You're live with Expresso on what will hopefully be an inspired and inspiring Monday morning live with us for 3 hours at the start of a brand new week. Thank you so much for keeping it locked. Hopefully you had a fantastic weekend and we're going to continue on that trajectory. In fact, we've got you for 5 days to savor. But today really is all about that Monday motivation. And although it's just the start of a week, we are got at least 5 days of pure enjoyment to get through, so buckle up and stay tuned. So this morning we're going to keep the spirit of Women's Month high and use what little time we have left. We spend the morning with an inspirational young woman, journalist Shantini Naidu, all the way in Johannesburg. Jamie's going to be stopping by. She wrote what sounds like the most amazing book called Woman in Solidarity, or Solitary rather, and we find out more about the gripping stories of some of the women behind that book who shaped the face of South Africa. And of course, this weekend, reading from the tragic news of the passing of Big Bozeman. So we're going to be going into all of those details as well, bring you some of the gut-wrenching responses from across the globe. But thank you so much for keeping it locked here. I know someone who's probably more pumped than me about the start of a brand new week. Good morning, my brother.
Yes, G, good morning, you beautiful people. Thank you for joining us on another Magic Monday edition as we kickstart the week with all of you incredible souls. And now this morning, of course, we have so much magic lined up in the show. But one thing we are doing is finishing off this Women's Month with a bang. Of course, as we heard, we're chatting to Shantini Naidu, of course, in the studio. But a lot of the gents are going to be holding it down this morning. And we're asking you guys the question on social media. What does woman empowerment mean to you? And what do you think can be done to make sure it's accomplished? Whenever I think of empowerment for women, I think of the fact that we already have that power within us. I think women just need to realize that, and us as men need to look at nurturing that environment a little bit more. Maybe GBV gets in the way, or possibly even toxic masculinity. Well, let us know, and I think the gents out here in the studio are also very interested to find out how we could maybe assist in the empowerment of women. But let's get back to the show. Let's find out what's happening in the Magic. But before we do, we're starting off with the news with G.
Thanks so much, Raul. Let's set the scene here in South Africa first. The South African Council of Churches yesterday launched its anti-corruption campaign against the looting of COVID-19 funds. So all 36 of its member churches and organizations took part in the campaign to lament and protect the rights of citizens against COVID-19 corruption. This comes amid growing outrage in the country at alleged rampant corruption, especially linked to personal protective equipment tenders amid the coronavirus pandemic. The Archbishop called for an independent body to fight corruption and to hold those in power accountable. Then, Kommetjie residents in Cape Town are outraged by the capture and removal of their beloved baboon, Kataza, that by the City of Cape Town's baboon management team. The baboon is known for its capacity to, quote, break the line of rangers when leading its troop on raids in the rustic village on the Cape Peninsula. City spokesperson Kay Montgomery confirmed that Kataza had been captured and held for a few days. The baboon was later released into Kai. It's reported that residents are worried that the city is planning to euthanize the animal. Casting a wider scope now on the international front, billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk has introduced a pig called Gertrude with a coin-sized computer chip in her brain to demonstrate his ambitious plans to create a working brain-to-machine interface. The processor in her brain sends wireless signals indicating neural activity in her snout when seeking food. The interface could enable people with neurological conditions to control phones or computers with their mind. Musk hopes such chips could eventually be used to help cure conditions such as dementia, Parkinson's disease, and even spinal cord injuries. Then thousands of people marched through the Mauritian capital, Port Louis, yesterday in protest at the authorities' handling of a massive oil spill we've reported on and the discovery of at least 45 dead dolphins. Mauritians believe the government could have done more to prevent the spill by acting sooner and not waiting just 12 days until oil started to leak. About 1,000 tons of oil spilled into a sanctuary for rare wildlife after the Japanese ship MV Wakashio struck a coral reef on the 25th of July. Mauritians all over the world, including London, Paris, Perth, and also on a wider diaspora, held demonstrations. Next, encouraging females to experience ways to express themselves. More than 30 young women were afforded the opportunity during the weekend to learn how to skateboard at Tai Park in West Dean, Johannesburg. The opportunity was presented by Girls Can Skate South Africa. This was in aid of Women's Month, breaking barriers in which society believed that a woman cannot do a man's sport. Now, the aim of the sessions is to encourage more females in South Africa to skateboard, encouraging them to identify opportunities and ways to express themselves without feeling that they are boxed in by certain expectations. 4 years ago, skateboarding made history with the International Olympic Committee announcement of planning for its Olympic debut at the Tokyo Summer Games, which will now take place, obviously, in Tokyo only next year because of the COVID-19 pandemic. There'll be 40 spots for women across 2 categories and 40 for men, with 20 skaters in both the street and park competitions for each gender. Brazil's Leticia Buffoni, who holds the record for most wins of the female world skateboarding street world rankings, will be a major contender for gold at the Olympics, but maybe we'll see a South African young lady knocking on that door pretty soon. And now, obviously, tragic news from the world of entertainment. The Black Panther war cry, Wakanda Forever, trended online this weekend as fans and celebrities remembered Chadwick Boseman, who succumbed to a secretive cancer battle on Friday in Los Angeles with his wife and family by his side. Boseman was diagnosed with colon cancer in 2016, but never spoke about it publicly. The tweet announcing his death surpassed 6 million on Saturday night, understandably becoming the most liked tweet on the social media platform by far. The 43-year-old actor played T'Challa, a superhero and leader of Wakanda in the film Black Panther, iconic now, which was praised as a cultural milestone for having a primarily black cast and black superhero. The character was seen as an inspiration for young black people in particular, as Black Panther was the first high-profile black Marvel superhero, in fact. It was a box office hit and the first superhero film to receive a nomination for Best Picture at the Oscars. Boseman said the film had changed what it meant to be young, gifted, and black. He also played the role in the Marvel films Captain America: Civil War, Avengers: Infinity War, and Avengers: Endgame, to add to a very long and illustrious filmography, even at his young age. Now, Chadwick Boseman's role as the Black Panther delighted children and adults around the world. Wakanda forever, King T'Challa forever. Chadwick Boseman forever. That's where we leave our news for now. Let's get into our sporting lineup. We start with rugby. Reigning Rugby World Cup champions, the Springboks could replace Japan in the newly formed 8-team tournament set to take place at the end of 2020. So Japan has pulled out of the competition because of travel restrictions brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic. World Rugby Vice Chairman Bernard Laporte said there are now advanced discussions with South Africa. Then on to the Super Rugby franchise. Super Rugby Australia action continued on Friday with the Brumbies sealing top spot after beating the winless Western Force 31-14. In the second AU fixture on Saturday, the Waratahs just edged out the Rebels in a spirited 38-32 encounter in a 9-try Super Rugby thriller. So the Tars may have won the encounter, but they have not yet secured that spot in the playoffs. It's the Rebels now having the opportunity to beat the Force by 4 points this weekend. The Tars will then be kicked out of the competition. The Rebels would then advance and face the Reds for a place in the final, where they would meet, of course, the Brumbies, who've secured that spot. In the Premier Soccer League over the last couple of days, log leaders Kaizer Chiefs suffered a 1-0 loss to Bidvest Wits, and reigning PSL champions Mamelodi Sundowns, who currently sit in second place on the standings, were beaten 1-0 by Baraka FC. With both the Amakosi and the Brazilians suffering those losses, they remain level on 53 championship points with just 2 rounds left to play. That kicks off again on Wednesday. On to cricket. England claimed a 5-wicket win over Pakistan in the second T20 international match at the Emirates Old Trafford last night. England confronted with a 196-run target, massive record run chase against Pakistan. In fact, captain Owen Morgan led his side to the win after reaching an impressive 66 from just 33 deliveries. England then won the match with 5 balls to spare. The third T20 will take place tomorrow at 7 p.m. SA time. On to motorsport. Defending Formula One world champion Lewis Hamilton was in imperious form, taking a comfortable victory from pole at the Belgian Grand Prix at the Circuit de Spa Spa-Francorchamps. It was yet another 1-2 for Mercedes as well, with Valtteri Bottas finishing in second place ahead of Max Verstappen for Red Bull. Had an eventful race. The win for Hamilton puts him 47 points clear of Verstappen now on the driver's standings. Hamilton, of course, dedicating his pole position to the late Black Panther actor Chadwick Boseman and paid tribute to him again on the podium yesterday. That's where we leave our sport for now. Let's take our first look at our Monday morning weather. So we've asked you guys to send in your sunrise pictures, and you've risen to the occasion. We'd like to see how you wake up in your part of the country every day. And this morning, Lyndon Malchus heard the call and sent in this beautiful skyline from George. Thank you so much. You got chilly temperatures expected in George with a maximum of only 16 degrees today. Then Alistair Glenn posted this gorgeous sunrise from Durbs, where temperatures range from 13 to 18 today. Alistair, you too can contribute to our weather report by sending in your sunrise selfies. That's what we're calling it. Expresso's Facebook page is where you can do that. So today is officially the last day of winter in the southern hemisphere. We can all rejoice just a little. Appropriately, a thick dusting of snow still covered Table Mountain yesterday morning. That was after snow fell on the mountain on Saturday, in between rain and icy winds, of course. And the first passengers of the reopened cable car service may not be in time to experience it, as the cable car officially reopens tomorrow after being closed for more than 5 months during lockdown. Hikers were the only ones who were able to view the spectacular snowy scenes on the mountain as their reward. Fortunately, footage captured by the 5 feeds from the top of the mountain showing some amazing snowy scenes. And tomorrow is the first day of spring, but it will still be a chilly Monday in most parts of the country as cold weather. The cold front makes its way across the Western Cape, bringing with it a 60% possibility of rain. But let's get into particulars of the temperatures in your part of the world. Polokwane, 11 your low, going up to 16, and a 19% chance of rain. In Mbombela, 12 and 14 your range. 40% chance of rain there as well. Likewise in Pretoria, where your low is 7, going up to 20. Johannesburg, chilly start, 4 degrees, going up to 19 with a 25% chance of rain. Mahikeng, 8 and 23 your range. Klerksdorp, 5 and 22. Kimberley, 0 is your minimum, going up to a max of just 17. Bloemfontein, ranging between 6 and 17 degrees. Richard Bay, moderate 14 to 17 range with a 24% chance of rain. Pietermaritzburg, very slight chance of rain, where your low is 9, going up to 14 degrees. Durban, 13 your low, 18 your high. Mthatha, 4 degrees your minimum, going up to a max of 18. East London, ranging between 7 and 17. Craddock, very cold start, -1 degrees. You will go to a moderate 18 as your high. Port Elizabeth, ranging between 9 and 18. George, 8 and 16. Cape Town, high chance of rain, 68%. Your low, 8, going up to only 12 degrees today. Worcester, ranging between 3 and 12 with a 55% chance of rain. Sutherland is freezing, literally, today. -8 degrees, going up to only 10, and a high chance of frost. Uppington, your low, -1, going up to 18 degrees there as well. So stay warm, but also send us some pictures of the snow if you can still catch it out there. And thank you so much to all of you sending your sunrise selfies.
Oh, there you have it. Thank you so much, G, for shedding some light on the last day of winter. It is official, and what that means is my favorite season is about to deliver itself. Of course, we're talking about spring, and I'm joined by the beautiful Knox over here. And at spring, it's an opportunity for us to recreate ourselves, to refresh exactly that. And of course, I know with all the canola fields just boosting in the Western Cape, everybody's got that floral look going. But
fashionable and amazing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
but I mean, for men, for us gents especially, what can we expect for spring and the men's wear department?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Ral, like you said, it's very experimental. It's a fresh start, and I think gents can really look forward to a lot of printed items that are really going to be on trend. So you're going to see that happen either in the boxer shirt, which also is just kind of a new edge, bringing in the old school into the new school. So
you see, I like my old school,
you see
clearly.
the old school. I love that. So there's definitely the boxer shirt will be back. We're going to see a lot more prints. I know in the female section we're seeing a lot of tropical prints. So we'll probably see a translation in that for the men, and definitely the two-piece collab. So like you've got pants that are the same print and a top, definitely on trend.
Okay.
Very much the cool guy. So I think I'll see you doing a lot of that also.
It's so weird as well, because you literally sound like you're breaking all the rules that I had growing up. It was like, don't match denim on denim. Don't wear khaki shirt with khaki pants.
And then fashion said.
And then fashion said, kaka pow.
That's the nice thing. It's just like you can experiment. What we thought was like the norm determine the rule. Fashion is saying play. Whatever feels good, do it for
The
yourself.
new norm is on its way. That word is just popping up all the time. So what am I doing here with
Yes.
your expertise this morning?
So today, I think we have a little bit of a challenge. I've chosen 2 things today that I really think will work well for
Okay.
you. I know that you like things that are practical, but I thought let's move a little way from the green and take it to a blue. And what I love
Okay,
here today is that I've got 2 amazing items, and I'm hoping that, you know, the audience can help us a little bit here. So I've got these 2 amazing outfits. Let's start off with the knit.
All right.
We've got this beautiful 2-tone knit over here. I love the kind of thick, you know, beaded kind of.
I thought these were 2 different jerseys.
Exactly.
Stacked up against each other. I
That's
see
the
you
story
now.
of
This is
it.
pretty cool.
So really, it's like a really modern look to it. It's a very 2-tone thing. It doesn't take itself too seriously, but you like with the weight of it that it is quite a good.
It's a real proper like knit.
Solid
For me,
knit.
it's solid, and I think having some fun in spring as well. I think if you want to be a stealthy kind of cat, you can approach people. You got a blue outfit on, turn their back, and they see this green guy going like, "What's going on here?" You know what I mean?
It's
Practical
so
at the
fun.
same time.
Practical, but also with a little bit of
Yeah.
fun, and a classic denim
love
shirt,
these.
which I also think is so important, just to kind of add a bit of cool, but also a very chic element. I love the detail in the buttons here. All very, very comfortable, and you know the materials feel good. So also, if you move around a lot, as you're going to do for the rest of the show, these are great items. So we've got 2 options here.
I like. I must say they both look practical. I
Yes.
can wear them up, wear them down, wear them in the studio, and then go somewhere straight afterwards and use it.
Absolutely.
So I think we're going to do something fun this morning, guys. Let's find out what you guys think about the following options for me to wear today. But if, of course, you can't get your hands on these, or head over to Woolies. But we're asking you guys at home to vote for your favorite option. I'm going to be rocking these looks for the morning, of course. Should I rock the denim look, or should I rock the knitwear? You let us know, of course, and I'll be wearing it throughout the show. So guys, fam, come through. Make me look good this morning, please. We'll catch you after the break with the vote. So get voting, get voting, get voting. I want to see what I should be wearing later.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yeah, you're still locked in at your Feel Good Breakfast Show, of course, and with exercise being one of the greatest forms of giving your body that extra daily boost of energy, and with such a variety of exercises to do from the comfort of your own home, there's no excuse to get that body moving. And now with Vitathion Unleash Your Beast Mode series, we'll be taking a look at different forms of exercise to not only keep you looking good, but also boost those energy levels to keep you going pow, pow, pow right throughout the day. So this morning, we're looking at someone really, really special, and we're all quite familiar with. It's called aerobics, which I'm sure you've tried before. If you haven't, then stay tuned. And we're chatting to our fitness and aerobics instructor, George Stradom, to take us through this fun way of keeping fit. George, how are you doing this morning?
Morning, Royal. How's it going?
So good. Even better now that I get to chat to you in the studio. So listen, man, what is aerobics and why is it such a timeless and trusted way of exercise?
Royal, aerobics is a physical exercise which is a composition of rhythmic dance, stretching, and strength training, and it's all done with music. So it's fun. It's a fun way to burn calories.
I think we in the studio have had so much fun with aerobics, from dressing up and kicking it back to the old school days with the leotards to just dancing and having fun. But what are some of the key points that make aerobics what it is compared to, like, let's just say any other form of exercise?
Well, aerobics is basically cardio. So it's done to music and it's done in groups. So it's fun. It's where you don't really have to concentrate much on one particular muscle. It's where you move your whole body. So every part of you is moving. And so you are you're getting into shape very quickly and in a fun way.
Definitely. A key point about that is that the fact that it's fun, but more so, what is it actually good for? Is it toning, losing weight, general fitness? What are the benefits that we get out of this?
To lose weight and you know, tone up and all of that, you need to have a healthy lifestyle. Aerobics come into the cardio part. So that's great to tone, lose weight. If you want to do toning, you can just bring in the weights and stuff, and it can be like the strength training as well. So that will be able to tone your muscles while getting into shape and losing fat, and goes with also good nutrition. You'll be fine, yeah.
I think it's something that for me personally I must share with everybody. Aerobics is my go-to just to kind of get curb the fat a little bit and the extra calories that I did burn. So for me it's awesome because it's also low impact. But is it for everybody? Can anybody do aerobics, or is there kind of a limit when it comes to your age or your skill?
I'd say it's for everyone. Obviously, if you do have any underlying health issues, you need to go and consult your doctor first to get the go-ahead. But further on, the easiest way to get into it and just start getting into the rhythm, getting the moves, and getting into shape and having fun.
It sounds like so much fun indeed. For you guys out there, it's time to get excited because we're about to give you a paradigm shift of note and give you the incredible workout here from George. So stay tuned for a little bit of aerobic session coming straight after this.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Happy birthday, a very happy birthday to you. Come on.
Shimmy, shimmy. It's your birthday. Hopefully it's your birthday. Very good morning. Welcome back. You're live with Expresso and just in time to celebrate birthdays. And if you are lucky enough to be celebrating today, you're in pretty good company. Of course, you're sharing this special day with South African golfing phenomenon, sensation Charles Schwartzel, of course, turns 36 years young today. Best known for winning incredibly the 2011 Masters tournament. Massive honor. It's a big one. Charles plays on the PGA Tour, European Tour and the Sunshine Tour. He was the third South African to win the event at Augusta National after three-time champions Gary Player and Trevor Immelman. He also has a beautiful family that he adores and loves so much. Hopefully they are getting to spend today with him. I know golf's kind of started to get up and running again in the midst of all the COVID craziness. So we wish him well wherever he is and a very happy birthday.
A total icon at 36 years only.
I know,
36 years
the
only.
Opens massive, man. He's done some pretty amazing things.
Well, let's celebrate your birthday. So it's Julia's birthday today. We got a message. It reads, my name is Julia Benet, or Benet. It is my 34th birthday. Happy birthday to me. Thank you, Julia Benet. Julia's on the line. Good morning, Julia.
Good morning to you.
Happy birthday, Julia!
Thank you so much.
Oh, what a beautiful way to get into your birthday. There is nothing better than when you wish yourself a very happy birthday first thing in the morning.
I love that. What does that say about the kind of person that you are? Why did you want to wish yourself a happy birthday? Did you need the extra motivation this morning?
Yes, I did. I got very excited.
This is beautiful.
We absolutely love our birthdays. First of all, Julia, how do we pronounce your surname? Is it Bennett or Benet?
As Bennett.
Benet. And how are you
Benet.
spending your birthday? What's the plan for the rest of the day, Julia?
My birthday was yesterday, so we had a braai and family, friends, so it was a nice day.
Yeah. And what is your biggest sort of goal for the year? Now that you turn a new year and you're stepping into 34, what is the one thing you want to take out of 34? Oh, no pressure.
Not sure yet.
Don't worry, that's the general COVID-19 response. Julia, I hope you continue to celebrate your birthday all week. We absolutely adore you. Thank you so much for watching the show and have the most amazing post-birthday week as well.
Thank you so much for calling. Thank you very much.
Beautiful.
It's
Happy
an absolute pleasure.
birthday, Julia Benet. And then we've got Philip as well in the house celebrating his birthday. It says, happy birthday to my handsome hubby, Philip Theron. I love you millions from your wife, Celeste. Okay, Celeste Theron, because I thought it was Charlize Theron. But I'm sure they are related for sure. There is no doubt. Theron. They are definitely related.
Then we've got another one, a big milestone. Happy 30th birthday to Keziah and KD. Wishing the two of you a fabulous birthday as you take your first steps into the teenage world. May only good things in life come your way. May love and happiness accompany you throughout this journey of life. Lots of love from mommy, daddy, and Carlia. Then another milestone birthday, 30th. That's a big one to Nathan. May God bless you abundantly and spare you many more. I pray that your wishes and heart's desires come true. We love you very much. You're a blessing to us. Love from your mommy, your daddy, your family, and your loving girlfriend, Simone.
And then we've got Nosihle's birthday here. I wish my cousin Nosihle Miende a very happy 21st birthday. It's a big one. Get that key. May you continue to smile and send joy to the world, and may it come back to you. This is from Asanda Kuboni and the rest of the family. And then one for Kara here. I wish my daughter, Kara Stewart, a very happy 8th birthday. Thanks for being the sunshine in our lives. We love you lots. This is from your mum, your dad, and your sister Tamsin Stewart. Happy birthday.
Let's slip one more in there. Happy birthday to this beautiful lady, Umisa Belakazi Presente. May you be blessed with good and healthy life. That's coming to you from all of your friends. Happy birthday to all of you. Have a blessed and an abundant and enjoyed birthday today, despite all the COVID craziness. And of course, if you want to send us your birthday videos, whether it's singing to yourself or someone else, you can WhatsApp to 0716406551 or email those birthday wishes to birthdays@cordova.tv.
We're making something really delicious in the kitchen right now. You're going to want to see it. It's Jared Ricketts fresh milk peanut butter smoothie bowl clover. Yes, take it away.
Nothing beats the long-lasting freshness and quality taste of Clover fresh milk, made with love by Clover.
Ah, yes, indeed, Tubbs. We are doing something delicious, and I'm so excited now. Not only is Jared Ricketts a singing sensation who uplifts our souls on Mondays through the art of music, but he's also got a tasty, healthy dish up his sleeve, and I am so impressed myself that he's joining us in the kitchen now to share one of his absolute favorite recipes. It's a clover fresh milk peanut butter smoothie bowl. Does that not sound delicious? And it's a refreshing bowl. The goodness that's going to start the week off on a high note, pun intended.
Come on, give us some music there.
Yeah, man, the bar's been set, my man. I got to step it up.
Listen.
So I'm excited because you're making something that I love, Jared.
Yes, and this is one of those perfect things that you can have after a gym session. I know that you are a gym enthusiast and all things healthy, so this is going to be right up your alley. Listen, and
you know the way to my heart.
Come on, and the way to my heart is peanut butter, funny enough.
Okay.
And that's why it's my favorite recipe. And also, it's so easy to make, Guy. I'm pretty useless in the kitchen, I'll admit that. So what I love about this recipe is that you can't fluff it up. The great thing is that everything just goes into the blender, you hit the button, and it does all the work for you.
All right, so if you like Tubbs, myself, and Jared Ricketts, and you can't cook that well, then pay attention, because this is like idiot-proof almost, I'd imagine, of course. And head over to the expressoshow.com to find some of this recipe inspiration, of course. But Jared Ricketts, how are we going to do this thing, man?
So let's get things started. I'm a musician and I'm feeling inspired.
Okay.
So let's try and build up a little song about this. So maybe you can move your shoulders from side to side and give me a little bit of a beat like this. And on the count of 3 we sing, this is how we do it. 1, 2, 3, and we go.
This is how we do it.
Hey, give me the bananas in the freezer.
This is how we do it.
Hey, yeah, we got some peanut butter, there's no sugar.
This is how we do
and
it.
And we got some clover milk for you. And some yogurt for the smoothie. So much fun. I think we're going to release an album and recipe book.
Yeah, man, why don't we do that? Obviously, vibes in the kitchen, Jared. I think we actually need to get going with the recipe here before we have too much fun. So
let's do it. So I'm going to start off with the milk.
Exciting. Okay.
Cool, and what I love about the clover milk is that there's so much nutritional value in all of this. With all of the vitamins, you're talking about vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin B12.
Oh, nice, my friend, and some calcium, of course, in any glass of milk after a training session is going to benefit you a lot. So just remember that too. That's gold in a glass right there, just on its own.
I just realized that I was supposed to do the milk last, but hey, if it splatters everywhere, this is my kind of vibe, and you're here for it, and we can do it just like that. And then, as mentioned before, we're going to do our yogurt.
Yes.
I'm just going to put some in there as well.
And of course, I'm going to be adding all the glitz and the glam to this, I think, Jared.
Well, I just do all of
these
this
ingredients need to really be put on a pedestal. So, of course, we've got probiotics coming in here from the yogurt. So that's really going to help with the immune system. Of course, there's some calcium in there for the bones, keeping the iron rich as well. And now you got your favorite ingredient, the peanut butter.
Fondest memory in high school and primary school, all the other kids were complaining about peanut butter, and I was like, yes, Mom, give it to me.
What else do you put peanut butter on?
Listen, I make milkshakes, chicken peanut butter dishes.
Excuse me,
it's quite versatile. Okay. Maybe another segment we can do all of that, but this is about our smoothie bowl. Right, so I'm just going to do that, guys. As you can tell, when I'm in the kitchen, it's all messy, but it's all good.
No one can be messy and clean, Jared, so don't stress whatsoever.
And it's edible. That's the point. It's edible. Okay, we're also going to put our chopped bananas that will also be placed in the freezer. And the important thing about this is that freezing your bananas is going to give you that thick consistency you want, so you can have your smoothie become a smoothie bowl. Also, another good thing to remember is that when you are freezing them, please put them out on a plate, because if you put them in a bag and you freeze them, you can't get it in there. It's going to damage your blades, and you won't be able to do the things like this, the way that we're going to do it right now. So I'm going to plonk them all in pretty slowly, because I think the milk is going to do its thing here.
Beautiful stuff. And of course, to add the glitz and the glam to the banana, it is the perfect carb, the post-workout meal. It's got magnesium in it, it's slow release, and it's got some potassium in it as well. So it's going to help with cramps, and of course, just giving us the energy that we do need.
The guy's laughing at me, he's watching me do this.
I'm so impressed.
You're
delivering us with some chef knowledge out here. I didn't know you were. You're not just a singer.
Hey, guy, we got to try all kinds of things, and a guy's got to eat.
Yes. I'm getting hungry. All right, let's speed this up. So where are we off to next?
So what we're going to do is we've got our bananas in there. We're going to add some dates, because because the bananas and the dates are going to give us some natural sugars, because, we're trying to also live healthy lifestyles. With lockdown for me, I've also been trying to do that, is to do things a little bit healthier for my lifestyle. So if you're conscious for yourself and your family, you can do just that. And now we're at the important and easy bit, guy. All we do is we clip our blades on.
So Jared, I would just recommend maybe we just take out a little bit of milk out of that NutriBullet. I've had some episodes where I've had it too full and it just explodes all over the show. So I know.
You know what? Ryan's got so much tech. Ryan's got so much tech, but this is
I just didn't want to challenge Chef Clem this morning and just blow him out the water with our mess. So I thought, let's just be on the safe side.
Myself. So now I've got all these gadgets here, and it's we're trying to do it this way. So is that enough for you? Do you think?
I love that. I think that's a little bit safer, Jared. I think we won't get an explosion.
And I'm just going to screw this on. And this is what's so fun for me, is that, like I said, I'm useless in the kitchen. So all I do is I make sure this is tight, and I pop it upside down. We clip it in to about 3 points that you've got to click it in. And then we just press him, and he's going to give us that goodness. Like
everybody's waiting.
This. Oh, please don't explode. Here we go.
Yes!
Yes. And of course, here we go. Whew,
I think everybody in the studio, Jared, was just like, is it going to explode? Is it going to explode? We're all in suspense here.
Stick to singing, guys. Stick to singing.
We got you as well, Chef Clem.
And what's really cool, is that if you want a sort of a thicker consistency, you don't have to blend it for that long.
Yeah.
I like things smooth, so I just wanted it, a little bit more of that. And then we're going to take it out like that.
Right, Jared, you're teasing me way too much. Watch
this, guys. Here we go. Into a lovely fancy bowl that we've got here. Check out how this looks. Look at that, guys.
Beautiful stuff.
Mommy, I did it. Guys, and as you can see over here, we've got some interesting things that you can dress up your bowl with. We've got some more nuts. We've got some pumpkin seeds. You can toss it up. So I'm going to do just a little bit of that for you. Mine is not going to look as great as the example I'm supposed to give you.
It
some
looks
of
beautiful,
that.
Jared. It looks beautiful. I love it.
You've been far too kind. There we go. Some berries for your life. And then actually, it's supposed to look like
It looks exactly like this. Jared Ricketts, you've been absolutely incredible, man. I've had so much fun with you in the kitchen. A job well done. I think you put all the chefs to shame. Of course, guys, if you want to get some of this recipe inspiration, stick around if you missed the recipe because it's coming at you right now. Well done, brother.
Made with love by Clover. Oh, you can make my day.
Nothing beats the long-lasting freshness and quality taste of Clover fresh milk. Made with love by Clover.
Let's talk about skin. If you suffer with dry, dehydrated skin, then you may very well know that finding the right skincare routine for you can be extremely challenging. I think dealing with issues of tight, maybe dull, dry skin can really take the fun out of your skincare routine. But with a little bit of guidance and the right products, you can get your skin hydrated and glowing, feeling vital in no time. We are going to chat now to dermatologist Dr. Ian Webster, good friend of the show, on what should be done to keep dry skin healthy and hydrated. How would you diagnose someone with dry skin specifically? What are the signs you would look for?
Well, often it's dull, it's red, it's scaly, it might be itchy. Those are often the signs, and often there might be a family history of dry skin or ichthyosis in the family. So often people with a dry skin often have a dry skin from birth, and there often will be other people in the family with a dry skin.
I was going to ask that if it is something that's genetic, or can it also be formed over time? What are some of the factors that influence this, and why do some of us suffer more from dry skin? Can it be our environment, how we look after ourselves?
Definitely. So as I explained, some people have a dry skin from birth, but most of us have a normal skin, and then environmental factors, like especially in the high veld, in the interior of the country, the winter, the humidity in the air is lower and your skin will become drier. And also using the wrong products can be a problem. Your normal pH of your skin is 5.5, and a lot of the soaps we use to wash our body with is pH 10. So that just strips the natural fats out of your skin, and that will dehydrate your skin and cause it to become irritated and itchy and often uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think a lot of us suffering from a lack of vitamin D as well, not being outdoors and enjoying the sunshine. What are some of the more serious conditions or forms of dry skin?
There is this group of conditions called the ichthyoses, and there is a thing called the harlequin fetus. So a child might be born with this ichthyosis, and unfortunately that might be fatal, you know. Wow. But unfortunately, that's a very rare condition. And then atopic eczema, the types of eczema, sometimes you can get secondary bacterial infections on top of the eczema. Sometimes you can get herpes virus that can go on top of the eczema, something called eczema peticum, and the person with the eczema might need to be hospitalized with that.
Wow, so it can actually become quite chronic. When we look at the kind of lighter side of that scale, for those of us that do suffer with dry skin or have a naturally, genetically dry skin type, what would be the most ideal skincare routine? What are some of the specific steps that you should be following?
Well, number one, as I say, choose a cleanser, either a bar of soap or a liquid cleanser, as close to your normal pH of your skin as possible. And what's important in this COVID pandemic, you must choose a cleanser that foams, because it's the foam that kills the virus. So if you're washing your hands, it must be a foaming, either a bar of soap or a liquid cleanser, but close to pH 5.5. So you want to take less fat out of the skin and put more back, and then look for a moisturizer that contains what we call humectants, contains various things that also mimic the normal fats in your skin. So you want to put more of the normal fats back into your skin again.
Keep it as natural as possible. Doctor, thank you so much for your insights. Hopefully you're going to have a wonderful day and we'll get some sunshine outdoors. But we really appreciate your time.
No, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me on the show.
Always an absolute pleasure. I think the dry South African climate can be harmful to your skin, especially if you're already battling with dry skin, and it really is no joke. It's time to take charge of your skin and skincare routine, and Dextrol skincare range is formulated specifically to treat dry skin and conditions such as atopic dermatitis, giving your skin the love and the right pH balance that it deserves.
Do you have dry skin caused by hand sanitizing? Keep the moisture balance with Dextrol, scientifically proven to restore dry skin. Dextrol, evidence makes us.
Welcome back. You're still here with your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and I'm here with aerobics instructor George Stradom, and where it's about to go down, and we are about to kick it off with a little bit of an aerobic session. And if you just missed out, you heard all the benefits, and we're about to put it to the test. George, you still with us?
Yes, that's it. I'm here.
Okay, awesome. So let us begin with the aerobic session. I'm obviously excited now. I've got my mat, I've got my body here, and I think that's all we need. Of course, no equipment whatsoever, just our beautiful bodies. So kick it off, man. Where do we begin?
We're going to start with some knee-ups. So let's go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh. Put your arms up.
All right. Already feeling a little bit more of a struggle here, George, with the arms up. My core is coming into play like you cannot imagine. Woo. I thought we were going to warm up, but no, we're going straight into it. I love it.
Yes, let's go. There we go. Jog it out on the spot. Yeah.
All right, jogging on the spot. My favorite, my man. Working the calves, working the legs, getting that
Now we're
tempo
gonna go
up.
into the squat. Go into the squat. Step out. Straight. Look up. Back straight. Up towards ceiling. Let's go.
Kicking
Standing on the spot. We're going to stretch it out.
At the moment, if you guys have just tuned in, we're doing one killer aerobic session. And if you thought aerobics was easy, you've been fooled, guys. This stuff is kicking me. I'm burning, I'm sweating. The cows are kicking it. And we're here with George taking us through one
Let's go,
session.
Raul, let's go. Pick up the pace, boys. Pick up the pace.
Feeling it, man. I'm feeling it. Oh. So we're moving over to,
Yes, here we go.
looks like curtsy lunges right now. We haven't had a break yet. We just
Good,
barely
that's
closed.
right.
Whew.
Feel it in your glutes.
I am.
Out of thigh. You're feeling it. Jog on the spot. Let's get back up.
Thank you. I was feeling that one in the glutes like you can't imagine, man.
So we're going to do the pendulum swing now.
All right.
Just step. Step.
It's almost like a little dance move. I like
We're
this.
going to give a swing to it. Give a bit of a hop. Again, out of thigh. Using the arms. Go, let's go. Pendulum swing. Pick up the pace. Leg up high.
Excuse me, guys, if you are not hearing
Keep it out the way.
much talking going on right now. I'm just about trying to get my breath and stay alive. This man's killing me over here.
See, that's good. Come on. Go to
So,
the spot.
George, I'm noticing after every exercise, we don't actually stop. We're continually moving. What's the reason for that?
You keep moving. Doesn't take much beginners. But you keep moving. You keep going constantly. And you keep the heart rate up. That's all that needs to happen. Heart rate's up. Getting fit.
I can just imagine picturing it right now. I'm starting to get that feeling of, you know, when you're going like 1 minute into a dance and you're feeling that song, you're feeling the magic within it, and you just want to release. I'm feeling just like that right now. Oh, I can imagine just
Exactly, that's it.
kicking some good
Let's
music.
go for the knee up. Last one, we're going to do the knee up.
All right, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Kick out.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Crunch, crunch.
Kick. Got that? Okay. Go. 1.
Yo, George, feeling like a freaking Power Ranger right now. You got me from squats to jumps to kicking it, to running on the spot to fighting. So, George, I've got to ask you, how long would you do a session like this for, in terms of like timing?
I'd say anything between 30 to 40 minutes is good.
All right. Absolutely love it, guys. We're here with George. He's giving us one incredible workout. Man, I'm moving, I'm sweating, and I'm feeling like I've almost run a marathon. And I can't thank you enough for sharing this session with us, brother.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Rob. Thank you.
Well, I try and get my breath back. The good news is for all our viewers out there, you can win a 1,000 Rand Take-A-Lot voucher courtesy of Vitathine. And all you got to do is reply to the Vitathine competition post on the Expresso Facebook page or, of course, the Expresso Twitter page. And tell us, when do you need an energy boost the most? And, of course, don't forget to use the hashtag AllDayBeastMode. And that competition closes on the 4th of September, 2020 at midnight. And your terms and conditions can be found on ExpressoShow.com. Oh, what are you waiting for? Shake and bake.
Activate your beast mode with Vitathion.
This Tuesday evening at 7:30 on SABC3, the Insider SA celebrates strong and enterprising women. We visit the beautiful home of an award-winning CEO who shares her perspective on job creation. See how a top designer modeled her own creations during lockdown, and learn how an entrepreneur converts shipping containers into homes and offices. That's the Insider SA, Tuesday evening at 7:30. Repeat Saturday nights at 8, only on SABC3.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Very good morning. Welcome back as we delve into a little bit of weekend sporting action. Lots of footy dominating the local headlines as both Kaizer Chiefs and Mamelodi Sundowns drop points this weekend to remain level with just 2 rounds left to play. It's going to go down to the wire. So many questions to be asked and answered this morning. And of course, in Super Rugby AU, it looks like the Brumbies have confirmed their playoff spot, but who will meet them there? We will endeavour to answer that question this morning with our senior sports writer and good friend Ryan Frieda, and of course Cape Town City FC super fan Dylan Tybos, who must be smiling this weekend. But of course all of our predictions were absolutely useless on Friday. So Dylan, as you contemplate your team's amazing win, we're going to get into a little bit of Super Rugby first with Ryan. Ryan, I hope you had a great weekend, really enjoyed some amazing sporting action across the board. We kind of expected the Brumbies to do it against the Western Force, and they did it in style. They have made it, booked their spot in the playoffs.
Right. And that was a good game. But I mean, the game of interest this weekend was, of course, like we said on Friday, the Rebels versus the Tars. Tars managing to beat the Rebels there, but the Rebels still in with a big shot. They just need to win this game on this coming weekend. In fact, they need to tie. Their points differential is so superior to the Tars that just even a tie there, and they're playing the Western Force, who are the tournament's worst team. And so even a tie there gets them into the semi-final to play the Reds in 2 weeks' time. So that's a big game of interest in this weekend.
Of course, we know Michael Hooper will be heading off to Japan for a little bit of a hiatus, if you will, making it possible for Will Harrison to score his maiden Super Rugby try. What I loved was comparing the kicking positions. When we look at the way the Brumbies are playing this beautiful, expansive running rugby, and what that meant for Paul Kunzel, who had to kick just about every conversion from about as far out as you could, to Will Harrison kicking everyone in front of the pills. I mean, you've got to hand it to the Waratahs. They couldn't have done much more, but the Rebels were still fantastic against, and that was a brilliant game of rugby.
Yeah, both sides. I felt like both sides kind of earned the right to play the way they wanted to.
Yeah.
So they laid the attacking platform with good pragmatic phase play, and then kind of earned the right to play the way they wanted to. On the point that you made about the goal kickers, we can't overstate how important goal kickers are to the game, and particularly when you get into knockout phases when sort of small points differences separate teams, that becomes even more so. So I'm looking forward to the weeks ahead, because those small differences are going to make a big difference ultimately.
Yep, and we will wait to see who will join the Brumbies in that final playoff. But Super Rugby AU really has hotted up, provided some fantastic rugby. Let's bring it back home to talk PSL action. There was action aplenty, but not at all the action that we predicted going into this weekend. I know, Dylan, you will be celebrating, so I'm just going to throw it right out to you. We want to see hat-tricks. We want to see our team dominating 4-1 against Golden Arrows. How are you feeling about the win?
Steady, Graham. I'm feeling over the moon. The team it was a big shift with all the coaches and the staff playing their part, doing their part. It's just been absolutely great for us.
Brilliant performance there from the team of choice, doing some fantastic moves. Fantastic performance all round. But let's bring it back to one of the derby matches. I think we saw 2 brilliant goals. Vincent Pule, Lepasa also getting on the sheets for the Buccaneers. But Wayne Sandiland saving 2 penalties on the night as Orlando Pirates really do show the best of what they can do against SuperSport United, right?
Yeah, as Pirates are finishing the season strongly. Pirates and Wits kind of in the form teams for this competition. And this is while Chiefs and Sundowns struggle. Nobody wants to win this thing, Graham, but Pirates and Wits looking incredibly strong. And we'll speak about Chiefs and Sundowns in a minute, but let's just bear in mind that Wits is 4 points off the top with 2 games to spare. So a capitulation by either Chiefs or Sundowns can see them sneak in the back door there, but studies.
You used the dreaded word capitulation. Was this the start of that for Kaizer Chiefs? We've been waiting for the other shoe to drop. Perhaps it really did this weekend. What went wrong for them over the weekend? Or was it just a brilliant performance by Wits?
No, both teams, look, all credit to Wits. I just said that they're finishing the season strong, so a lot of credit to them. But Chiefs haven't come in outside of their last result. Chiefs haven't really come into this game with any sort of form, right? They've struggled. We said on Friday that they surrendered a 10-point advantage over Sundowns from December. So they've really struggled, and since the lockdown, that's continued. They look disjointed. They look like there's no cohesive game plan. Obviously, it was stolen in the death against them, but before that, I don't feel like they deserve the 3 points there. So look, they've got Chipper at home in this coming week, and then Baraka away to finish off. And neither of those games are going to be easy, particularly Baraka, because they might be playing for their Premier League survival in that game. And then Sundowns at Polokwane City away. They should win that one. And then Black Leopards at home to finish the season. And so you've got to look at that, even though their form is not where it should be, you've got to look at those two comparative fixture lists and go I think Sundowns are going to pop it.
You got to hand it to Baraka as well for the win against Sundowns this weekend. Looking at their relegation battle, Dylan, I'm going to ask you one last question here before we let you go. Who's going to win this title race, my friend? It looks like the Brazilians are probably in the pound seat now. Sorry, Amakosi, but who's your money on?
I'm going to go with the underdogs. I'm betting on Wits. It was a slip up from both teams. I'm going for Wits. Wits is my pick.
Wow, man. Well, unfortunately, Ryan, after your predictions ahead of the weekend, I'm going to have to go with Dylan with this one, man. Is it going to be the students taking the crown again, or will it be the defending champions, or will Amakosi break a drought that has gone on for too long? Gentlemen, thank you so much for chewing through all of the sporting gristle with us. Have a fantastic week ahead. And, of course, if you want to be like Dylan and join us as a super fan on the show and have your say, we'd love to hear from you. Let us know on our social media platforms who you support, why you support them, and why you believe your opinion needs to be heard live on air. And who knows, we'll be connecting with you. But thank you so much to both gentlemen. And that's a wrap of your weekend Sporting Live. We'll delve into motorsport a little bit later. But right now, let's get into those news headlines.
Thank you very much, G-Man. Just after 7 o'clock, time for us to take a look at those news headlines. We start off here in South Africa, where Statistics South Africa has announced a second delay of the quarterly labour force survey for the second quarter. This follows the implementation of a new method of collecting data, which was imposed as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Its office suspended its fieldwork and face-to-face methods of conducting questionnaires following lockdown in March as part of measures to deal with the coronavirus outbreak. Meanwhile, the country's death toll has risen to almost 14,000, and the number of infections stands at 622,551. The recovery rate is 86%. The South African Association of Marine Biological Research says the 2.5-meter black mamba found swimming at Durban's Addington Beach earlier this week, or rather last week, and which we reported on, will be released into its natural habitat soon. A video showing the indigenous snake caught up in the tide and then washing up ashore has gone viral. Conservation strategist at the association, Dr. Judy Manlang, says the snake is currently being given a general health check. She said it was treated for dehydration and shock as it spent quite some time swimming in the ocean. In international news, the president of the United Arab Emirates, UAE, has scrapped an economic boycott against Israel, allowing trade and financial agreements between the countries in other key steps towards stabilizing ties. Israel and the UAE earlier agreed to normalize diplomatic relations in a deal brokered by U.S. President Donald Trump. The announcement came as Israel flag carrier El Al Israel Airlines prepared to operate the country's first direct flight between Tel Aviv and Abu Dhabi today, with top aides to Trump, including his senior advisor and son-in-law Jared Kushner, on board. Zimbabwean wildlife authorities are investigating the deaths of 12 elephants, most of them young adults, in a forest north of the country's famous Hwangwe National Park. Spokesperson Tinashe Farao said yesterday the carcasses carcasses were discovered this weekend in the Pandamusue forest, tucked between Hangwe and Victoria Falls town. Poaching is ruled out because the tusks are intact, as is cyanide poisoning, because no other animal has been affected. Neighboring Botswana, home to the world's largest elephant population, lost around 300 elephants earlier this year, thought to have succumbed to natural toxins. And now a story of how Kajo Sambe defied the odds to surf. While growing up in a Senegal coastal area capital of Dakar, Kajo Sambe never saw a black woman surfing the Atlantic swells. And as a teenager, her parents refused to allow her to surf. However, her determination won them over. Today, as Senegal's first female professional surfer, Sambe inspires the next generation to defy cultural norms and take to the waves as she prepares for the Olympic Games. Undeterred by the postponement of the Games, Sambe trains whenever conditions allow in the powerful surf break near her home in the district of Ngo. She also coaches local girls, encouraging them to break the mold in a society that generally expects them to stay home, cook, clean, and marry young. And she says that I'd always see men surfing and then say to myself, but where are the girls? And I thought, why don't I go surfing, represent my country, represent Africa, represent Senegal? Well, Kajo Sambe is indeed an apt example this Women's Month of breaking the mold in a society that generally does expect women to remain home. That's where we leave it for now. The next update in just over an hour. Here is Graham with a look at your sports.
We're going to jump straight to weather this morning because we were treated to some spectacular scenes across the Cape. Certainly yesterday, we've asked you also to send in your sunrise pictures, as we like to see how you wake up in your part of the country. And this morning, Jim Gibson posted the sunrise picture from Jeffreys Bay, where mostly sunny conditions can be expected, reaching a cool maximum of 17 degrees. Zuko Nakele posted this sunrise from Lukakisiki in the Eastern Cape. Very chilly conditions expected there, with a cold 5-degree start to the day, reaching a max of only 12 degrees. You too can contribute to our weather report by sending in your sunrise selfies on our Expresso Morning Show's Facebook page. Now, today is officially the last day of winter in the Southern Hemisphere. Appropriately, a thick dusting of snow still covering Table Mountain yesterday. That was after snow fell on the mountain on Saturday in between rain and icy winds. The first passengers of the reopened cable car service may not be in time to experience it, as the cable car officially reopens tomorrow after being closed for more than 5 months now during lockdown. Hikers were the only ones who were able to view the spectacular snowy scenes on the mountain as their reward. Fortunately, footage captured by the 5 feeds from the top of the mountain showing amazing snowy scenes. Tomorrow is the first day of spring, but it'll still be a chilly Monday today in most parts of the country as cold front continues to make its way across the Western Cape, also bringing with it a 60% possibility of rain. But let's get into particulars of your temperatures in your neck of the woods. Starting in Polokwane, 11 your low, going up to 16. Mbombela, 12 your low, going up to only 14 with a 40% chance of rain. Pretoria ranging between 7 and 20. Thunder showers expected with a 40% chance of rain there as well. Johannesburg, your low, 4 going up to 19. Mahikeng, 8 your low, going up to 23 degrees. Klerksdorp, 5 and 22. Kimberley, 0. Chilly start going up to only 17 degrees. Bloem, you kick off on 6 with a max of 17 degrees. Richards Bay, moderate, ranging between 14 and 17 with a 24% chance of rain. Pietermaritzburg, slight chance of rain with your low 9 going up to only 14. Durban ranging between 13 and 18 degrees. Umtata 4 and 18 degrees. East London, your low 7 going up to 17. Craddock -1 is where you kickstart today, going up to 18 degrees. Port Elizabeth ranging between 9 and 18. Then George, your minimum 8 going up to a max of 16. Cape Town, high chance of rain 68% with your minimum 8 going up to only 12 degrees. Worcester ranging between 3 and 12 degrees today with a 55% chance of rain. Chilly start in Sutherland, freezing in fact, -8 degrees, going up to only 10 degrees with frost expected, understandably. And then Uppington also a cold start, -1 degrees is your minimum, going up to a max of 18 degrees. Wherever it is, despite the cold, hope you have a beautiful day.
Thank you, G, delivering us with the news. The last day of winter, it is official. We're heading into spring. And obviously this morning, I was chatting to the beautiful Knox, who was delivering some spring advice when it comes to the menswear department, of course. And this morning on our social media channels, we were asking you all to come through and pimp me out for the spring edition. And that you did, of course. And we're starting off with Poiti, who says, warm winter polo, it would suit him best. So that's a 1 vote for the poto. Then we got Tanya Oren saying, I like the denim, but both look really good. And then Andile says it's a warm winter polo for me. So she's voting for the polo. Stennis to be in the lead. Annalisa says, good morning. I recommend the warm winter polo. And last but not least, Vincent coming through saying, warm winter polo would definitely be the best. Well, guys, clearly the votes are in. You guys all coming through to assist me for that spring edition. We were voting for the two-tone warm winter polo, of course, and we had the denim shirt, which I just absolutely loved. But you guys have spoken the things. We're going to be wearing the warm winter polo. So while I get changed, of course, I'm going to leave you in the comfortable, seductive, beautiful hands of Jared Ricketts. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Raul, for that inspiration for the gents. So, of course, now it is a Monday. You know what happens on a Monday? It's all about hashtag Gospel Mondays. Now, every Friday, Jared Ricketts and Roderick McKay, they present 3 songs that they have prepared for Gospel Mondays on Expresso's Facebook and Twitter pages. And, of course, your options this time around were Here I Am, Lord, sitting at 35.7%, coming through there. What a Beautiful Name at 46.4%, with Shine, Jesus, Shine at 17.9%. And the winning songs this week are What a Beautiful Name It Is and Here I Am, Lord. Such fantastic selections that you have made. But of course, we hope that this selection keeps you uplifted as we enter the month of September this week. But here's the thing. We want you to record yourself performing to What a Beautiful Name It Is and post it on our social media pages. And your video could also be aired live on Expresso next week, Monday. But right now, it's time for that performance. Here it is, your feel-good breakfast show's favorite duo. It's Jared Ricketts and Roderick McKay. Take it away.
You were the Word at the beginning, one with God the Lord Most High. Your hidden glory in creation, now revealed in you, our Christ. What a beautiful name it is. What a beautiful name it is. The name of Jesus Christ, our King. What a beautiful name it is. Nothing compares to this. What a beautiful name it is. The name of Jesus. You didn't want heaven without us, so Jesus, you brought heaven down. My sin was great, your love was greater. What could separate us now? What a wonderful name it is. What a wonderful name it is. The name of Jesus Christ, our King. What a wonderful name it is. And nothing compares to this. What a wonderful name it is. The name of Jesus. Death could not hold you. The veil tore before you. You silenced the voice of sin and grave. The heavens are roaring the praise of your glory. For you are raised to life Jesus Christ our King. What a powerful name it is. Oh, nothing compares to this. What a powerful name it is. What a beautiful name it is. Hey, what a wonderful name it is. The name of Jesus.
Wow, what a glorious performance.
Thank you so
Jared
much.
Ricketts, and on the keys, Roderick McKay. I mean, our spirits are completely lifted. We are floating at a high altitude. Thank you so much for that. What a way to get into a Monday morning. Hashtag Gospel Mondays here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Remember, you still need to record that video of yourself performing your rendition of this song. What a beautiful name. And who knows, we might just feature it on the show. Jared Ricketts and Roderick McKay are going nowhere. Still coming up a bit later on. They're going to be performing another fantastic selection from your 3 choices that you have selected. Here I Am, Lord. So stick around right here on SABC3. We'll see you after this.
Only you can make my day. It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. Thank you so much for keeping it locked. The show is actually flying, man. Where's it going, man? I'm enjoying it so much, but thank you so much for tuning in. And again, thank you so much for all of your support over all of our efforts over the last couple of months. No act of kindness, however small, is ever wasted. And being inspired by all of the selfless donations towards the Woolworths Full of Bag campaign, Expresso guest chef and our good friend Teresa Ulyate decided to lend a helping hand of her own and make a special contribution of her own. Take a look.
Good morning, team. Today I'm going to be donating to the Woolies Fill a Bag campaign. Remember, no donation is too small and it'll go a long way to helping a family in need. It's very easy to pay with SnapScan. Simply scan the code. Put in your amount. And you're done. That's 250 Rand from me with love.
Oh, is that not just special, Teresa? Oh, yeah, lovely stuff, of course. You beautiful souls. I love it when this magic happens. It's so, so good to see and feel that feel good. Now, thanks to the continuous and generous donations like Teresa's received so far, South Africa and Woolworths have managed to raise, wait for it, 2,777,361 Rand. Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh, is it not just incredible, Gee, man? What this means is, guys, that it breaks down and it works out to a total of 941,478 bags that have officially been donated. And that is out of that 1 million meal goal. So we are just under 60,000 meals away from that incredible goal that we set out earlier during that lockdown, which can be achieved quite easily. So if roughly 6,000 South Africans just donated 10 Rand each, Gee, boom, it's done. As easy as that. So once again from GNI, a massive thank you to Teresa for a donation, and to you, South Africa, of course, for your undying attitude and willingness to help those in need. We are so close, G.
thank you so much for that very generous contribution, of course, to the cause. Teresa Alliate, one of my favorites. But of course, it's Monday and it's time to get inspired in the kitchen. And we know that Mondays are one of the busiest days of the week. For a lot of people, they really are. For most people, there's very little time for prep. But Clem is here in the house to prove that a delicious meal is only 15 minutes away. I promise you, you're going to learn. And featuring sirloin steak from this week's Daily Difference list of savings, his spicy Asian steak bowl is a sure way to turn any Blue Monday into a delicious one. Let's learn.
You just say you're gonna learn.
You're gonna learn.
Gonna learn. I love that. I love that. So, true story. A few weeks ago, I was in Woolworths and I was getting like sauces. I stock up on sauces. I've got like a condiment like war because I'm obsessed with sauces. And I heard like this young boy explaining to his mom what these marinade bags are all about, and it touched me. I was like, dude, that's amazing.
So the young
he
boy
must have been watching. Oh, he's just like inspired by food like we are.
So the young boy was explaining to the mum.
Yes, because she was like, no, it's just a bag of marinade, and he was like, no, it's not, mom. It's actually you open it and you put your meat inside the bag, and then the marinade's in the bag. And he was adamant like this is what he wanted, and I was like, wow, that's great, that's great. So the kids out there,
the kids, are all right, and the kids are learning.
Yes. So these are really, really amazing.
Yeah.
And if you haven't caught on to this, I've not seen this anywhere else. When I saw it on the shelf, I nearly lost my mind.
Yeah.
Kind of did. Because for the first time now, Woolies have made marinating your meats so easy.
So convenient.
And it's dry season, and you need to be getting ready for this. Okay.
We are going to be
simple.
looking for that convenience. Okay. Okay, so this is fantastic. I love it.
So I've got the soy and tamarind marinade bag, right?
Okay.
I'm going to teach you how to make steak in record time for like 15 minutes tops. You're done in the kitchen.
Great.
But it does take a little bit of prep.
Okay.
And the little bit of prep that you're going to do is really great because by keeping the steak in the bag, it's going to absorb so much flavor.
Oh, I can imagine that. Are you going to wash your hands for us?
I've already washed
I just washed mine as we started.
I made Tabiso wash his hands, and the reason is because Nicole, you guys don't understand. I'm actually like when I cook with emotion. So like I'm gonna like be cooking some steak. You will see the steak splatter around here. So Nicole makes sure that I've always got. True story. I've always got wet wipes ready.
But clearly also she doesn't ever forget the hand wash and the kitchen cleaner.
But what we do, because we're working with food so much, we want to ensure that what we're cooking with is earth-friendly at the same time. It's all about that. So I like it. But I made Tabiso wash his hands just in case it gets involved. Okay, so
which I may or may not do.
I'm still thinking about it. Okay, so we're talking about the fact that this is 15 minutes to make, right? I'm saving you time, but we're also saving you money with Daily Difference.
Yes.
And the steaks right now aren't special. Like this week, Daily Difference, you have to go and check it out.
Okay.
So I'm going to take 2 steaks, and I can turn that into dinner for 4, which is really, really great. So what
you're
going to
have to teach me how to do that.
I'm going to teach you. I'm going to learn you.
Struggle with portions.
I'm going to learn you.
I can never get enough portions for like more than 2 people done.
What?
You know, I can never
I actually
tell
feel you. I feel you. I feel you.
Where you know?
Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm cutting the steak, and this is a beautiful sirloin steak, and I'm not taking the fat off. I'm keeping the fat on.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what I'm doing, I'm cutting it into nice little chunks. Can you take that wet wipe for me? There you go. There you go. You're doing something for me. And then I just take this.
Don't know if I needed to wash my hands for handing you a wet wipe, but.
Okay, I'm gonna pass you this while I can you open that bag for me?
Open this for you. Okay.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the steak inside that bag. You can actually just pull it in the middle. Okay, you got it for me? So what I do is I put the steak in there, and I do this on Sunday because I know Monday's going to be busy. But while I'm doing that to save myself time, the steak's doing its job and it's absorbing all that flavor. So steak goes in the bag. Get it in there. Give it a good like little shaky shake up in there.
So what's the minimum amount of time you can put your steak, or you should be putting your steak?
Half an hour even. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Okay.
So what you're gonna do now is now that you got it in your marinade, you're gonna put it down on your counter, squeeze as much air out of the bag as possible, and then just seal it, right? Boom, fridge. That's done. That's doing its job.
So you could actually do this ahead of time. So if I did this on, like, let's say, a Monday, for example, and the plan is to host a dinner on Wednesday, would that still be okay? I mean, I'm guessing that would be such a succulent steak.
That's absolutely fine. So what you're going to do now is you heat up your pan, get it nice and hot, and then you get some oil in your pan.
Yeah.
And I like the fact you get it nice and hot because then it really creates like a nice sear. So you're going to get out those little chunks of steak, you get them in there, let them sear hard. What's also nice is the fact that there's a bit of sugar in that marinade. That's going to caramelize beautifully. That's going to give you such beautiful color. Okay, so you get that into your pan.
It's all about the sizzle, hey? As soon as it starts sizzling, you know you're onto something really amazing.
So it's about the sizzle, and if you want to show off, you can kind of like
Okay, no, we are not going to be doing that. I'm not going to try that.
Why not?
That I won't try.
Why not? Okay, cool. So that's not necessary, but if you want to just show off. And again, I've made a little bit of a mess. It's fine. So I've got the wet wipes here. Okay, cool. So what you're going to do is you're going to let that
Just
start.
checking for the fire extinguisher.
I,
Got it, yeah.
I keep the fire extinguisher over here.
there.
I got it. Okay, so what you're going to do now, while this is busy browning, right?
Yeah.
Once it gets a nice sear on it, I take some green beans, and I've literally just taken...
Sorry, I'm still just trying to recover. I wasn't... The last bit of stuff you just said, no, I didn't hear, because I'm still on the flames. Sorry, what did you just do now?
Okay, so once you get a nice sear on your steak, get a nice brown color evenly on all those pieces.
Yeah.
I like just giving it a little shaky shake, because then you can toss it around nicely, you know, nice crust. Get your green beans, and just take off the woody tops of it, and then you add that to the pan. So that's going to cook. People overcook green beans, and when you overcook green beans, you do two things. You change the texture of the green bean. Number one, it becomes mushy. That's why people don't like green beans. And number two, you lose all the extra nutrients in there.
I wanted to say the second point, and I was going to make a guess, obviously take a guess. It would have been a good one. That you obviously get rid of all the nutrients.
And it adds so much texture to it. So what you're going to do now is that little bit of extra marinade in there. Once those green beans start little green.
Graham is
he wants more fire.
For the flames.
He wants more fire.
Asking for the flames. But of course, it's easy for Graham to yell it from the other end of the building. He's not in the kitchen. So it's a very nice thing to ask for fire.
A little scared. Okay.
I've got highly flammable cologne on. I'm not trying this game.
Okay. We'll see. Maybe we can blame it on flame just now. All right. So now we're going to do a little... last week I taught people how to do a cucumber pickle. I'm going to teach you how to do a quick pickle, right?
Okay.
Quick pickle. So what I've done, I've taken my cucumber and I've cut it down the length.
Yeah.
Taking a spoon now, I'm going to remove the inside of it.
Yeah.
Okay? What you're going to do is you're literally going to run the spoon down the inside, scraping out all those seeds.
Yeah.
You don't want the seeds because the seeds are quite watery. And they're going to just like, it's not going to be like in your I was going to say, imagine there wasn't a bin there and I'm just holding it on the floor. Yeah.
No, there is actually.
There's a bin there.
There is. And it's a real bin. It's
a real bin.
Bin.
It changes the flavor of your pickle and then it becomes watery and you don't want that.
No, you don't want it swimming, you know.
You don't want it swimming, right.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, it's diagonal, which is quite nice because people normally serve cucumber like this in the normal rounds. Hey?
One flame.
Well, again, the man that's asking for the flames is 10 kilometers.
Look,
10 kilometers away.
I'll sort you out later, girl. I'll sort you out. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your bowl of beautiful cucumbers. These guys, it's Monday morning. Look at them. Boys. Okay, cool. Cucumber in there.
Got you,
now we're going to add that vinegary essence, and I'm using white vinegar.
Yeah.
I'll make quite a lot of this because the longer it sits in the pickle, the more intense it's going to get in flavor.
Yeah.
Red onions going in there, and I want that pungent onion flavor right now.
Yes.
Because that's going to mellow out as well, longer sits there. Sugar goes in to balance out the acidity.
I love this combo already.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Red chili. This is beautiful. It's nice, delicious. Coriander goes in a little bit. We'll keep some for later.
Those herbs,
Black sesame seeds. All right, you can toast them up. That little bit of crunch. You're busy eating, and while you're busy eating, you bite into a sesame seed. It's like a nice little crunchy texture. So amazing. Okay, this will be good in half an hour, right? But what I also like, again, we prepped our steak. If you prepped that yesterday, by the time you eat it tonight for dinner, it's going to be amazing. So I'm saving you more time.
Yes.
That's not the infomercial. And that's not all.
Saving you time.
Saving your time, saving your money. The coconut rice, if you've not bought the coconut rice from Woolworths yet, that goes into the microwave for 1.5 minutes.
Okay.
You need to.
Yes. I live on this rice.
It's so good.
That's what I live on.
All you got to do, pop this in the microwave, 1.5 minutes. Goes into your bowl. Add your beautiful steak with your green beans, with your beautiful pickle, a little bit of coriander.
Oh, come on.
A little bit of mint. Somebody come get
doing
this.
it for the kids. Doing it for the nation.
Bring the fire!
Making a difference. Okay, but I suppose once it's all done, it's about tasting all of this and how it's all come together with all of that crispiness that we spoke about and the fire.
Okay, you taste that. I'm coming right now.
Go. Taste.
Thanks, go.
Really good. It's come to life in the most beautiful way. All of those flavors. You got an explosion. See you after this.
my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
You are still keeping it locked right on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Now, if you're looking for an online concert experience like no other, then you have come to the right place. Imagine being transported to the Baxter Theatre and seeing Taryn Lamb and the Yewels Fantasties live. Well, you don't need to imagine anymore because it's happened and it only costs you 120 Rand. And we have the gorgeous human being right now on video called Taryn Lamb. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. How are you?
Ah, so
I miss you. I want to be on stage.
Oh, so good. We miss you too, Taryn. But you know what? We have a feeling, something tells me in particular, that you're going to be visiting us soon. So I'm crossing fingers.
I hope so. I hope so. I really hope so. And I just want to say to you, thank you so much for keep spreading the love and the light through these times. It's so good to be able to put TV on and see you there. So thank you for making my day every day. Thank you.
Oh, Taryn. Well, let's start here. First of all, a happy belated birthday. Obviously, you had your birthday earlier this month. How did you celebrate your special day?
So my husband and I, we born a few days apart, so we normally have like a joint birthday. So this year we did exactly that, and it was so lovely to be at home. So we did a little fry, and I went out, and my husband called up my best friend and my sister, and we just had a small little get together, and it was really, really sweet.
Oh, so sweet. Does that mean that if you guys are celebrating so close together that you don't have to buy each other gifts? Like, you keep your gift, I'll keep my gift. It's that kind of thing?
Absolutely not. Just because, and this is the thing, you know, you can be married, but you must still date. So I like that we still do the gift thing. It's important.
Oh, hitting all
So
the
cute,
feels.
man.
But listen, you also recently put together an online concert experience live from the Baxter Theatre alongside a full band and the Yewels Fantasties. How did this all come about? Take us through that journey.
So at the start of the lockdown, I noticed that now there's a new medium for us to perform on, which was the online field. And coming from the film and TV background, I wanted to try something different where the viewer at home feel like they are part of the set. So instead of us performing in a space to an audience, I wanted us to, you know, do the performance. And the incredible videographer, Anelia Loubser, she actually suggested, why don't we switch the entire stage around and then you show in the background the empty seats of the audience and speak to the camera and, you know, make the camera your best friend. And, you know, Chris Lotz, the cinematographer, came and he also shot, and it was just such an incredible journey to experience how we can bring music to a connected kind of feel where you kind of create something where the audience feels like, you know, right there, even though you're not right there. It wasn't an easy experience because we tried it the first time and then it didn't work. The second time round up, at the time, our song with the Yewels Fantasties had hit the radio and was really trending, and I called them up and the guys were like, yes, we'd love to be there. And so it was such a bonus to have them feature on the show and for us to do our song Expresso, which is totally about that moment when you're far away from the people that you love, and such a perfect song for lockdown.
You know, it's been so beautiful to connect with that story, your ability to create music, because we know that music is really the beat that's kept us going during this time. So well done on that. I know that you've also released your latest single. It's so amazing.
Yes, Mag ik dan bij jou.
I love
it.
What was the motivation behind the song?
Thank you. So this song I actually discovered last year on YouTube, and it's originally done by a singer from the Netherlands, Claudia de Brey. And last year I went through a very, very difficult time, and I used to listen to the song. It was in Dutch, so originally, and so I would listen to the song like all the time, every single day, and it just really, it gave me so much hope. And then at the beginning of the lockdown, I called Hunter Kennedy, who's also from the Yewels Fantasties, and he and I started songwriting together in December last year. And I called him up and I was like, Hunter, you know, what do you think about the song? I'm so interested in, you know, us, you know, trying to figure out if we can bring some Afrikaans lyrics to this beautiful song. And for the first 2 months in lockdown, we kind of went back and forth, you know, writing about like, you know, how we wanted to capture the tone and social time that we're living in as South Africans. And it was an incredible journey to get to hearing it play on the radio for the very first time, because I listened to the lyrics and the message of that song, and I feel like it really it resonates so much with me, because I feel like this pandemic has brought up so many pandemics for us as South Africans, and the awareness and the realization that if we cannot connect and stand together in love, we're not actually going to be in all of this. We won't be in this together, and won't be able to support each other. And so it just kind of reminds me to be like, mag ek dan by jou it's a cry out, to our brothers and our sisters. Say, you know what, hey man, we all in this together, and let's just stand together in love.
I love that you are such an inspiration to so many women out there. And as we move closer to the end of Women's Month, maybe what message of hope do you have for all the women out there that's watching you now and that takes inspiration from your story?
Wow, that's a big one. I think about my mom, and I think about everything that she has instilled in us, her children, and I would like to say to the women out there in the world, and this, I'm also saying this to myself because I have to remind myself this every day, you are enough. You are beautiful. Your voice, your singular voice, makes a difference in the world. You are the light. You can make a change, and you can be the change you want to see in this world.
Wow, beautiful. Wow. Taryn Lamb, really, you are the gift that keeps on giving. Thank you very much for making the time and chatting to us this morning, but also thank you very much for the music that's kept us going during lockdown, and obviously is going to keep carrying us beyond the lockdown times, and we can't wait to see you soon.
Thank you so much, and God bless, and thank you guys so much once again for your support. Even though the show is done, please, it's still up on the site. I left it there for everybody. Tickets are web tickets. It's our light. It's our light, not our darkness, that frightens us most. And it's based on that poem. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Love you guys.
We love you. Mwah.
What a positive message, with all that is going on in the world. Taryn Lamb's online concert touches on songs of hope, inspiration, a bit of nostalgia and social issues we face as a society. We hope you bought your tickets, because we all have front row seats.
Thank you so much, guys. Absolutely beautiful. We love Taryn, but the fact that she has maintained such an unbelievable standard with every release is part of why we hold her in such high esteem. And this latest collaboration with Heelwils just sounds amazing. But you're going to hear firsthand. Hier is Mag ek dan by jou.
As ek dan moet skuil, mag ek dan by jou. As ek alles moet verloor en almal wat ek lief het, mag ek dan by jou. As hierdie wêreld vir my keer onregverdig en beheer, mag ek dan by jou. En as ek iets moet wees wat ek nooit wil wees nie, mag ek dan by jou. Mag ek dan by jou skuil, as ek anders kan. En as ek moet huil, droog jy my trane dan. Want as ek by jou mag jy altyd by my. Kom wanneer jy wil, in liefde is ons vry. As jy weer lig donder en ek is bang, mag ek dan by jou. As die gevaar van die nag swaar op my loop te donker, mag ek dan by jou. En as die lente blom en ek verlang, mag ek dan by jou. En as die liefde kom en ons is seker, mag ek dan by jou. Mag ek dan by jou skuil, as ek nergens ons anders kan. En as ek moet huil, droog jy my trane dan. Want as ek by jou mag jy altyd by my. Kom wanneer jy wil, in liefde is ons vry.
Ek dan by jou absolutely stunning. Die heel was fantasties. And Taryn Lamb, the incomparable Taryn Lamb, we really do love and respect her so much. And if you want to see the two of them in concert, don't forget you can still get tickets to their amazing performance at the Baxter. Just 120 Rand. Web tickets, I think, is where you can find them. And at Taryn_Lamb is where you can find her and show some love to her online. But a beautiful, beautiful tribute.
That was so beautiful,
Yep.
Taryn. Oh, man, we love it. We really do love and respect it. That's true. But it's time to get some inspiration in the form of coffee and donuts, I
Yeah,
guess.
the good stuff.
I've got a question for you, Ryle. Do you have a mantra that you say to yourself when you look at yourself in the mirror every morning? Do you have one like that you say to
Putting on the
yourself?
spot, but you know what, Tubbs, I actually do. I literally look in the mirror every morning, and I think it's something that everyone should practice. And I just remind myself that you're blessed with unlimited potential. You're blessed with all the gifts that you need for the day. And you're blessed with life. And that is enough to go out there and conquer.
Oh, wow. That is beautiful. Forget to add, and you're blessed with a six-pack as well. That is a winning formula. I'm sorry. But anyway, with good coffee in hand and some words of wisdom to live by, anybody, really, honestly, anybody can conquer Monday, and of course the rest of the week as well. To keep the inspiration alive, we want you at home, yes, you, our favorite people, to share your favorite motivational quote with us that gets you pumped up and feeling ready to take on the week.
Yeah, and to sweeten the deal, Tubbs, 10 people who send us the best quotes will each receive a McCafe voucher that can be used to redeem a delicious McCafe cappuccino and donut like the ones we are indulging in right now. So all you got to do to enter is reply to the competition post on the Expresso Facebook or Twitter page and share your quotes. And of course, don't forget to use the hashtag McCafe Motivation. And then cross your lucky fingers because you might be a winner.
So here's the thing, the competition will close tonight at midnight. So go on there, T's and C's apply. You can find them on our website. It's expressoshow.com. Your coffee and your donut awaits. Cheers.
What's better than a sugar-coated, deliciously crispy golden brown donut and 100% Arabica beans brewed to perfection? Treat yourself and warm up your morning with a little sweetness from McCafe with the all-new mini donut and cappuccino offer. A little lovin' doesn't have to cost a lot. Great coffee, simple.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to it. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso. We're live on SABC3. Thank you very much for choosing to start the day off with us, and indeed starting the week off on the right side of lockdown with your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Now, throughout the month of August, we've been discussing issues that affect women in all spheres, and as we round out Women's Month, today we'd like to focus on one of the ways people have been fighting for equality. It's been a big fight, and that is through acts of feminism in response to patriarchal structures.
Yeah, that is right, Tom.
Yep.
So obviously, because today we're asking you, how does feminism and patriarchy operate in South Africa? And now this morning we're joined in studio by therapist, speaker and trainer Asha Dulab to help us discuss this topic. Asha, how are you doing this morning?
I'm great. Lovely to be back.
Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah.
This is a very important conversation to have, but maybe let's start here. What is patriarchy?
Okay, so patriarchy goes back thousands of years. It has made its mark in the Stone Ages, in the Middle Ages, and of course it's still making its mark right here now in our modern ages. So to put it simply, I mean, the key feature of patriarchy is that it's a male-dominant power structure throughout organized societies and also in relationships, and it shows up in all systems, in our government, in our political systems, our economy, in our religious systems, in our households, of course in the workforce. And basically it's the male dominance that leaves females feeling quite oppressed, restricted, weak. They feel undermined, they feel completely not themselves. They cannot speak their truth. There's complete lack of freedom.
All right. So for me, Asha, I'm trying to get to the bottom of this, and maybe you can educate me at the same time. So understanding patriarchy, I think, is quite important. But again, with that understanding, how does that then allow us to kind of, I guess, understand the movement of feminism, essentially?
Your understanding is critical. We need to understand these two concepts. We need to understand it because we need to highlight and make people aware of the brutal inequalities that women have gone through. But the understanding, it's tricky because we have layers of understanding, and people will first need to understand themselves before they can actually understand these two constructs. And the understanding will be digested and understood from people's own upbringing, their own conditioning, their own programming. So it'll be digested and understood very differently for every individual because of the layers and the degrees of patriarchy.
So interesting that you say, and you mentioned these layers, and is this something that has had like an historical upbringing, or how has that affected this to the point that we are at currently now?
The effects are in our face. It is raw. It is real. I mean, we are seeing it now in the gender-based violence. There's domestic violence. There's sexual harassment. There's we see it in the household still, where there's just gender roles that are just always clearly defined. We see it in women being underpaid, not being recognized for their abilities, not being able to speak their truth in the workplace, not being able to make choices. There's no freedom in even making a decision.
Do you see it in religious structures as well? Do you see it at all different levels of society? This is such a big conversation, but one that's got to be had, and we're not just having it today because we're rounding out Women's Month. It's one that has to be lived as well. And so we do invite you to connect with us on our Facebook page, of course, Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. We're going to be receiving some of those questions and, of course, asking those questions to Asha as well. But let's talk about feminism for a moment. Very often I've seen on social media feminism as a concept be met specifically by men with a bad attitude. They've got a really bad sort of push-aside attitude towards feminism. What is the concept of feminism?
So it's a movement for women to really try and speak their truth, to really highlight and make people aware about the inequalities. It's not about, casting men out. It's very much wanting to create a space and make room for people to be people. It's allowing women the capacity to actually experience a sense of their own autonomous free self. And it's also allowing men to experience their ability to express emotion and for relational contact and for their ability to actually form relationships. I think men are very much part and parcel of this feminist movement. We need to hear from them. They are relevant. They have their stories, and we need to embrace men hand in hand in this journey of feminism.
And the movement of feminism is not to say that women are going on this trajectory to lift themselves higher by bringing men down. I think what people need to understand, or often fail to understand, is that it's all about coexisting equally, and that women are wanting to get their voices heard. But of course, we do continue with this conversation. Ryle and I are certainly getting schooled in this regard. And we invite you to also continue and add your voice onto that Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. Graham?
Thank you so much, guys. And now I'm going to quote Pharrell Hafaji, who says, "An eloquent salute to the woman whose shoulders we walk on, a vital reminder." I'm talking about the book, Women in Solitary, Inside Female Resistance to Apartheid. And we have the pleasure this morning, the honor of chatting to the author, Shantini Naidu. Jamie is standing by to make that connection.
A very good morning to you, team. A very good morning to you, South Africa. My name is Jamie Lee Domug, reporting live for duty this morning, all the way in Johannesburg. And this morning, we're taking you on a journey. And this journey dates back to December 1969, when 22 people who had been detained in Pretoria after 8 months without trial were finally gathered in a trial on charges under the Suppression of Communism Act. Now, among them were 7 women, including the late Winnie Madikizela Mandela. They all refused to testify, and the case was dismissed and thrown out. However, unfortunately, the damage of solitary confinement and the trauma and torture had long been done. This morning, we're waking up with journalist and author of a brand new book, Women in Solitary, Shantini Naidu, to talk us through the experience of what these women went through. 4 of these women you wrote a story about. Firstly, Shantini, thank you so much for choosing to wake up with us this morning and allowing us in your beautiful home.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I mean, we go back to where the journey started, 1969, you know, the trial of 22. Why did you think it was so important for you, you know, to represent these women and share the story with the rest of South Africa and possibly the world?
It was around the time that Mam Winnie had passed away, and we were reporting on her death and her funeral, and you know, there was lots of international media around the time, which was very negative, very skewed sort of history that was told about her. And at the same time, I found the trial, which was also not very well known. And when I researched it a bit more, it was really as significant as our Rivonia trial was, because this was the trial that saw the women who were left behind to continue with the struggle after the male leaders were in prison, who were you know, detained and tortured, as you said, for over a year. The interesting thing about it was that the 4 of the women were still alive. Mam Winnie had passed on, and 2 others, but they were still alive, and they had these amazing stories. And I think the intention of the book was to tell their stories as women who were very important to our contribution, who made a very contribution to our struggle, and you know, to get their stories done before they were gone and not able to share it with people who should know about them.
I had the privilege of reading the introduction to this, and you know, just the way that you write about this, you had to go on an emotional journey to, you know, relay their story and bring this message across. Take us through some of the, you know, the highs and the lows of sharing this message and still trying to connect with the audiences and what you were hoping to achieve with this book.
Yes, I was, firstly, as a journalist, I was thrilled that they're still alive, that they were still able to share their story with me, and then to find them. Joyce Sikakane Rankin is amongst the most well-known of the women, and then Shanti Naidu also still lived in Johannesburg, and Marita Nzanga also in Soweto, where she, you know, where she contributed most to her to the movement. She's still there, and then we found Ma Nondwe Mankashla in the Eastern Cape as well. So it was amazing to go see them, speak to them, let them recall that time, which was really, really difficult, and you know, they went through the worst circumstances that you can imagine in our apartheid prisons. But at the same time, they were such beautiful people to get to know. Their journeys are, and that is the point of the book, although it's a difficult story to read. They triumphed, they survived, they are so brave and so have so much resilience and grit. This is what the whole story is about, and why us as South African women can use them as an example, and their strength and fortitude. Yeah.
There's a name that you just mentioned, Shanti Naidu. Is there any relation to it? Because I'm sure you probably get this a lot, and maybe this is why you wanted to share the story.
Yeah, it was very interesting, and this is also one of the reasons why it piqued my interest, because as journalists we always you wanted to identify with that time in South Africa in a way, and when I saw Shanti Naidu's name, I thought, how do I not know this person? How do I not know more about her? And found we absolutely not related, but that she had done such brave things in her youth and even beyond, and it was really it connected me to the story in a way that was very coincidental. So no relationship at all, but I got to know her very well and now consider her family.
Well, listen, we are rounding off Women's Month for the bang, and we're going to be continuing spreading this message of hope to all the women out there. We will be spending the rest of the morning with Shantini Naidu right here in Johannesburg, and in just a moment we'll be going through her fitness yoga and also a chickpea omelette. We're very excited, but for now, back to you guys in studio.
What a wonderful way to start the day on an inspirational note. And as it is just the end of Women's Month now, we want to ensure that we keep honoring our powerful and courageous sisters and mothers. So we're running a pretty cool competition, giving away a copy of Shantini's book, Women in Solitary, as well as a copy of Mothers of the Nation by Lihle Mqobozi, who we'll be interviewing towards the end of the show today. You really want to stick around for that one. To enter, simply reply to our competition post on Facebook and tell us which woman in your life inspires you. It should be easy. The competition ends at midday, so get entering right now. Terms and conditions can be found on expressoshow.com.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back as we delve into some motorsport action aplenty over the weekend. Another dominant performance from defending Formula One champion Lewis Hamilton, who admittedly seems to be at his best at the Belgian Grand Prix yesterday. Hamilton finishing in first place ahead of Mercedes teammate Valtteri Bottas and Red Bull's high-flying Max Verstappen. Joining us via video call all the way from Spa to tell us about what happened there is our motorsport writer Dane Hansen. Dane, very good morning. How are you? We might have lost him there for a second all the way in Spa. Dane, good morning. How are you doing,
guys,
buddy?
There seems to be a little bit of a sound difficulty. I can't hear anything. I'm not sure if you can hear me at all.
All right, so we'll try. I've got you, man. I can hear you. Hopefully we can sort that out in just a moment. Obviously, some emotional scenes coming from Spa this weekend as Lewis Hamilton paid tribute to Chadwick Boseman, dedicating his pole position and then, of course, the race win on the podium to him. But plenty of emotion coming into this race. Antoine Hubert, of course, was killed tragically in 2019, and many of the drivers dedicating their races to him over the weekend, and some very emotional tributes playing out throughout the race. So we'll bring you an update on exactly what went down at Spa over the weekend. Right now, let's get you savvy with your money this morning.
Yeah, let's do just that. Thank you, Graham. Well, it's always a good time to talk about money. There is never a bad time to talk about money, and even better when Nedbank has 40,000 Rand up for grabs just for you at home. That's a nice prize right there.
No, it literally could not get any easier to win. And to enter, all you have to do is spend a minimum of 500 Rand on your Nedbank check or credit card, and when you do, SMS the keyword Nedbank to 33728. Now, 8 lucky winners will stand a chance to win 2,500 Rand in cold, hard cash.
Oh, could do with some of that, but of course, even better, if you're not a Nedbank client and you want to be part of the competition, simply open your Nedbank check or credit card on nedbank.co.za, spend at least 500 Rand, and then send your SMS in, and Nedbank will double your prize to 5,000 Rand. How's that?
Just
How's that
dishing
deal?
out the dollars now. The competition runs until the 18th of October, but we will announce our first few winners next Monday, the 7th of September. So get on it ASAP, and you could be winning some serious cash. For all the terms and the conditions, of course, head over to expressoshow.com. What are you waiting for? You got a lot of time coming up before we catch some more magic, so get entering.
So I'm chatting to Umalume Mosa here. He's owned a small clothing factory for years now, and he's always inspired me with his success. But like a lot of businesses, this lockdown's hit him hard. So he spoke to his banker, and they've put together a tailor-made relief solution for him to help his business and his people get through this. Making your bank your business partner, that's a habit worth keeping.
Let's change money hobbits. What's a money hobbit? Dane, are you there, buddy? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I'm here now, yeah.
Come on, man. Please try a little bit harder, bro. Come on.
No pressure.
Okay, that bodes well.
Okay.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
All right, so we'll consider that first one a little safety car lap, and let's give it another go. Welcome back. You're live with Expresso as we delve into some Formula One and another, yes, dominant performance from Formula One champion Lewis Hamilton at the Belgian Grand Prix yesterday. Finished in first place, starting on pole ahead of Mercedes teammate Valtteri Bottas and Red Bull's Max Verstappen. Now joining us to take us through all of the action at Spa. Please welcome motorsport writer Dane Hansen. Dane, can you hear me this time? How are you, buddy?
The safety car's in and we are A for away.
A for away, and what a race.
Yeah.
Difficult to know where to begin because it felt like there were races within races with this one. But I think let's start with the man at top, and clearly at the top of his game. A brilliant qualifying and a brilliant race from start to finish. From a man that seemed to have a point to prove, dedicating his race obviously to Chadwick Boseman. But Lewis Hamilton really does seem to be at his best.
Yeah, Lewis is definitely coming strength to strength, and we see it season after season. This weekend was a little bit different. We were all expecting a wet weekend. There was a lot of talk of high percentage chance of rain this weekend. A lot of rain did fall throughout the weekend. It's just unfortunately it didn't fall on the F1 track while any of the cars were out. It was a dominant weekend for the Merc camp. And yeah, as you can see, the guys is going over Eau Rouge there. It was a fantastic lead that Lewis managed to pull out in the front. Valtteri Bottas, his teammates, just behind. You heard him with a little bit of controversy over the radio, asking his guys in the garage if he can use the overtake button to challenge Lewis. And the guys in the garage came back over the radio. Are we back again?
Yeah, no, I've got you, because I remember he was, as he was chatting to Martin Brundle after the race, he said he didn't hear anything from his team. And do you think he could have taken Hamilton? Should he have made that move? What do you do in that instance where your team is telling you what to do? I mean, we've seen it in Ferrari rear its ugly head. What happens in a case like that? Do you just have to bow to the powers that be?
It's very difficult. All of these guys have such intricate contracts that are written up before the season saying what they can and cannot do. A lot of teams pride themselves in allowing their drivers to race against each other. And these are the kinds of conversations that happen in briefings before the race. Like we saw on the radio, Valtteri said that he had no recollection of being told not to race Lewis Hamilton. So we can see a little bit of team orders coming to the fore there. What you make of it is your own opinion, but what fans would love to see is to see two drivers really, really challenging each other. But if we look further down the field, it was a fantastic race for a few drivers.
Some epic battles in the midfield. I think Pierre Gasly was just on fire, Perez on fire, Lando Norris on fire. What did you make of the midfield tussle where it really did get exciting?
The midfield tussle was fantastic. So if we look at Pierre Gasly, he was so driven from the start of the weekend. He was really wanting to race hard for his late friend, Antoine Hubert. His helmet decorated in pictures from their childhood, just growing up together. The Frenchman, let's not forget that he was dropped from Red Bull at this very race a year ago for Alexander Albon. And many people, many pundits, many critics, other drivers were thinking, gee, is this the end for Pierre Gasly? Well, this season he's shown it certainly is not the end for him. He started the race on the hard tire compound, something which was a little bit of a gamble, but the tire just seemed to behave so well. He managed to chop his way through the field quite spectacularly, all the way up until the safety car came out. He thinks that he was in with a shot of finishing fifth. Unfortunately, that safety car cost him what he thinks is about 20-odd seconds, with the Frenchman finishing 8th eventually. But it was a fantastic race. And if we look at the Renault cars, they had a solid race. If we look back at the beginning of the season, their non-executive director, Alain Prost, said, look, guys, don't expect anything this season, because we're certainly not. But what a surprise this last weekend was. You look at a team like Ferrari, who've really been battling this year. They go back to the drawing board to think, okay, well, what can we do to make up all this lost time? Where are we going wrong? Then a team like Renault comes on board, and they're going back to the drawing board, trying to find out where things are going so well. So if we look toward next year, this is really, really good stuff for Alonso hopefuls as we await his sensational return for next year and the year after.
So what's next on this revised, revamped Formula One calendar?
Great things. So luckily, it's excuse me. It's this coronavirus has really thrown a spanner in the works of the Formula One calendar. We are now returning to some real classic circuits. We're going back to the Nürburgring at a very peculiar time of the year. We're going there in, I think, October, when the track surface is going to be very cold. There should be some rain. It's their rainy season at that time of year. We're going to Mugello in Italy. We're going to Portimao in Portugal for 2 races that have never featured on the Formula One calendar. And we have a second race in Bahrain. I think I might have mentioned Imola, another classic circuit. So there's a lot to look forward to.
Starting to play out like a bit of a PlayStation game. Really exciting stuff. We've been treated to some amazing battles, and lest we forget, a superb performance by the reigning champion Lewis Hamilton to take the win and, of course, extend his lead at the top of the table ahead of Max Verstappen. But always such a pleasure to chat with you. Thank you so much, Dane. I see you still in Spa, so we'll let you get back to South Africa. I don't know how you're managing to do all this traveling, man. Truly amazing. Formula One will, of course, be heading to, as he said, the Autodromo Nacional circuit this weekend for the Italian Grand Prix. Dane will be back on Friday to give us a preview of what we can expect in Italy.
Oh, it's going to be cooking with action indeed. If I heard it correctly, I heard the Nürburgring with some rain, which I know is going to be just one exceptional day if it does come through, of course. But now, before we get into the good stuff, we're talking about Woolworths Fill a Bag campaign, which we have been delivering through and coming so close, I'd say, to that 1 million mark, of course. Now, along with the Gift of the Givers, have teamed up to distribute those 1 million meals, which I've spoken about. And, of course, each care pack, as we remember, is filled with a balance of protein, fresh fruit, veg, and, of course, all the other staples that you need. On top of it, they've also included some hygiene products to help curb the spread of COVID-19. Now, with under 60,000 meals to go, we are so close to reaching that 1 million meal goal, and together we definitely will. So just as a reminder, for as little as 10 Rand, that's all you got to do. A 10 Rand can provide one person with 3 meals for the day. That's how crazy that is. So all you got to do, of course, is just scan the QR code on your screen with SnapScan, or of course use your banking app and donate what you can towards filling a bag. And remember, any donation will help make such a huge difference, and we are so close to reaching that goal. Oh, so get involved, guys. Now, of course, when the urge to snack hits, it can be handy to have a few options up your sleeve. I know, especially if you're going to be watching any of that Formula One action, you're going to love this indeed. And it's smart and it's tasty, and Chef Clem is showing us just how to make one of his ultimate anytime snacks. It's called Bliss Balls, and now they're rolled in with oats, coconut, cashew, honey, and all the good stuff to get that sweet tooth going. So grab a quick pre-Zoom or mid-afternoon treat as an example for these Bliss Balls, because I know we are going to deliver. Chef Clem, how are we doing this morning?
So good, how are you?
I'm good, man. We were dancing in the kitchen this morning. We were shooting up some flames. So I think we can simmer down now and have a little dessert and enjoy things.
Nice and chill.
Apart from this, what is this?
It's just, yeah.
Is it a microwave, a stove?
It's a kitchen process that does everything. I mean, it's pretty awesome. We're going to use it today to make these Bliss Balls.
Okay.
And it's so weird, like, we drive to work so early in the morning, and during lockdown, the roads were empty. But now you're starting to notice cars on the road again.
I am.
And people are slowly getting back to work again. And it's like, it's almost weird that people are going back to normal slowly.
You're actually making me a little bit frustrated. A little bit of road rage is coming in now. I'm talking, you're reminding me of traffic.
Just stroke the mint. Just like take it in.
Grounding.
There we go. Bring it back now. So, true story. People are getting back to normal. There's traffic on the roads. The gyms are opening tomorrow.
Yeah.
And along with all these things and getting back into our normal cycle of life, there's like that kind of like prioritizing snacks and meals in your day. It's now becoming really good, because when you're at home, you get hungry, you just take a walk into the fridge, boom, help yourself. But now we got to get back to like sensible snacking again, and like how to like maintain and get that routine back into place. These are really great, because anytime during the day when you do get hungry, because we like I said, that 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock thing used to be easy. Walk to the fridge.
Make a quick lasagna for my lunchtime break.
A quick lasagna?
You know what I mean?
I dig that. So this is a great solution for that when you get caught in with the day, your day is getting busy, it's been too many Zoom calls in a day, you need something to boost you, but like you don't want to have a full-on meal. These Bliss Balls coming so handy. What I got is some oats in here. These are normal rolled oats.
Okay.
We're going some cashews.
All right.
What I like about this recipe is you can play around with it. If you don't have cashews, but you got almonds, use them. If you got macadamias, use them. Keep in mind they're a little oilier than the other nuts.
All right.
If you've got Brazil nuts, add them in there. It's whatever you have. And I find that everybody's got oats at home. And if you don't, you buy a bag, it's inexpensive and it goes a long, long way.
It's like a staple in your
It's
house,
so
man.
good.
You should definitely have some oats. You
Yeah.
can make so much with it.
Coconut going in there, and I love using coconut in this recipe because it gives it not just texture, but it gives it like a nice little coconutty flavor, which I actually like.
It's
makes
weird
you
how
chew.
and it's got like an oiliness to it as well, which is like
Absolutely.
really fulfilling.
Yeah.
And it just gives that decadence to a meal.
I agree. Then we're gonna add a bit of spice to it, and this is cinnamon, and cinnamon's going in there, and again, it just elevates the flavor of it so well. And then salt, because we spoke about it. Whenever you salt, whenever you use oats, you must use salt. It brings out the flavor of the oats, or else it just tastes powdery and bland.
Yep.
So that goes in there. Now we're talking about. We've got to bind the summer. We use a little bit of water so the water can go in so long. But talk about the sweetness. We've got to balance out, add some sweetness.
Yeah.
So we've got honey today, but dates are in there. You can use dates instead of the honey.
Okay.
You could use, give me some examples, like agave nectar.
Yes, definitely agave nectar. I mean, I don't know how sweet you'd want this, but I would imagine maybe like some berries could also add like a little bit of sweetness to it.
And I like that you said that because I don't like overly sweet things. So I'll play around and maybe like use one date, just an extra water just to bind it. You know, and the idea of the berry is also great because you can get that in there, blitz it all up, leave it for a bit, let it hydrate, and then roll the balls.
Okay.
Which I think is really cool. So we're gonna go in with the honey, and I love using local honey. This is wild blossom honey, but the fact that you get not just one, I mean, growing up, I remember honey was honey. There's one jar.
Yeah.
That's it. And now you get like different types of honey. You get fynbos honey,
yes,
blue gum
I've
honey.
seen some magic coming through, especially for our rich like biodiversity when it comes to our fynbos, our flora, our fauna. I mean, we've got flavors that the world has never, ever even
I
tasted.
love
So
that.
we're very blessed out here. So definitely support the locals.
Absolutely.
So is this? Now I'm wondering what's going on here. Is this like a blender? What is this
It
thing?
is. So it does the whole mixing at the bottom, chopping at the top.
Okay, and if I didn't have something like this, Clem, would I still have an option to do this?
What I love about this is you could use a hand blender with they normally come with a little chopping attachment at the bottom. You could use a NutriBullet.
Ah, okay,
But what,
cool.
also, you don't need to chop it up. If you want to just hydrate it, let those oats, give the oats a chance to like swell up a bit, then roll the balls. You can do that as well.
So you can like pre-soak it kind of a thing?
Pre-soak it, absolutely.
Okay, while the noise goes on. Oh, is that
Okay,
it?
cool. That's it.
I thought we were like a whole song of 1 minute
That's
chaos
it.
here.
But
Simple
I
as
absolutely
that.
like the fact that you asked the question, if they don't have this beautiful attachment, what do they do? Just let it hydrate.
Okay.
So I'm going to pass this to you.
All right.
So I'm going to give you a spoon as well. So you can start shaping them any size that you want. I've got a reference
And try not
point
eat it.
there in front of you.
So I'm matching these, right?
Yeah. Show me
cool.
what your skills.
I got you.
And then what you're going to roll them.
Take this.
You're going to shape it out, and then you can roll them in the coconut. This is just some normal, more desiccated coconut.
Okay.
You could toast this if you want to add extra flavor, extra texture.
That is a good taste. I love that. Toasted,
Show me what you got. Do you want to
desiccated coconut.
talk us through your technique? What are you doing right now?
What I'm doing is I'm trying to pretend like I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
But secondly, look, I would imagine the best surface I have is my hand. So I'm going to use my hand to play the
Absolutely,
ball.
go for it.
I have washed my hands, so
You're
I'm going to
going
go
for
for
like a
that.
nice big size ball?
Yes. You know, I'm going for the extra size. We worked out this morning. We've got another yoga session coming through later. So we burned some cows this morning.
Can you give me a quick tip for people that are getting back to gym and now they're trying to get back into routine? What's your one tip that you have for people that are getting back into
routine?
Yeah,
I
and
think
especially with gym.
it doesn't matter what you do. You can never take shortcuts, and you can't get away and run away from consistency. So every day you need to use the opportunity that you're blessed with.
Nature Boy approved. Boom. I dig that.
Boom. And Nature Boy approved on these balls. What do you reckon, Clem?
Love it. Give it a good rolling. And that's all. Let them sit up in the fridge and look at it nice and chill. You can even freeze them. I love them frozen.
Voila.
Done. Rao, I'm impressed. And you have to come through with the biggest ball as well. Rao, my man, that's amazing. That's it. That's how easy it is to make these. And like I said, perfect for any day, the middle of the day snack. Where you put your wet wipes?
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. Clem coming through here.
You know?
I've got the whole situation on my hands.
I've got everything sorted out for you. I busted this one up. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, right?
Yeah, man. So is that it? Simple as that. Bliss balls, coconut fusion, all the good things, macro balance, like you cannot deny. And of course, Chef Clem delivering with the goods, man. I'm our snacks already. No fire for this one.
Thank you very much for staying with your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso, here on SABC3. Now, spring officially starts tomorrow. Such fun times ahead. For some, that means enjoying the beautiful outdoors and flowers blossoming over here, over there, and everywhere. But for others, it means it's allergy season. And it's very important that for those who suffer with seasonal allergies, that they are prepared for what's to come and have the right set of tools to get them through the season. And we chat this morning to pediatrician and allergist, Professor Claudia Gray, about what exactly we can expect from seasonal allergies and how we can best manage and treat these allergies. Professor, good morning. Thank you very much for making time for us once again.
Good morning. Absolute pleasure.
Professor, for some of us, we're very excited. Of course, spring arrives tomorrow, like Tavisa said. But what does this mean for those who suffer with spring seasonal allergies?
Yeah, so spring is a wonderful time of the year. It's warm and it's blossoming. But of course, in order to blossom, one needs pollination. And pollen, for some, is a cause of much discomfort. So if you are allergic to certain pollens, be they grass pollens or tree pollens or weed pollens, if you breathe them in, you can get a lot of mischief and allergic reactions such as runny, itchy eyes and runny, itchy noses and sneezes and sometimes congestion. And if you're very unlucky, also a wheezy chest. So this time of fertilization and blossoming can be a time of misery for some.
Professor, what's the story there? Why is pollen such a big issue when it comes to allergies?
Yeah, so, I mean, allergens, as you know, can take all sorts of shapes and forms, from food allergies to drug allergies, etc. So pollens are a particular problem because they are small particles. And we're talking particularly about the pollens that are wind-driven. So as you know from your school days, some plants are pollinated by bees or birds, but we're talking about the ones that are pollinated by the wind. So you've got small particles that hang around in the air for a long time, giving us a long time to breathe in those particles, which can then set up an allergic response for some.
How long does, the pollen season last, and what are some of the other types of allergies that can affect us during this time as well?
Yeah, so when we're talking about seasonal allergies, we are in general talking about the pollen allergies, but of course there are various types of pollen. So first of all, the first one that seems to come to the fore are the tree pollens. So tree pollen season, so for example, your oak tree or your plane tree or your acacia tree, those come now, so August, September, October. Then the grass pollens, this is our most prolific season in South Africa, tends to start in about September and can run all the way through to February, March. So it's a very long season. And then the weed pollens, which are very important in some countries like the United States, but seem to be becoming more important here too. They tend to be later summer and autumn. So it's important to know what you're allergic to so you can plan at the correct time.
So we've established what happens in autumn and spring with those allergies. When it comes to seasons such as summer and winter, can we expect different types of allergies then?
Yeah, great question. Absolutely. So we've talked about our seasonal allergies, spring, summer, and those tend to be the pollens. You tend to be able to predict which time of the year that's going to be. And those tend to be outdoor allergens. So when you are outdoors, your symptoms will be worse. And that's generally during the daytime. And often there are also diurnal peaks, such as at sunrise and sunset, your pollen levels may be highest. And certain activities, such as mowing the lawn or playing outside, will bring on your outdoor allergies more. So contrast that to your year-long allergies, which are generally your indoor allergens, such as dust mite and pet allergies and mold allergies, which are concentrated in our indoor areas. And those allergies tend to be all year round, but have a particular peak in the autumn and the winter, when we spend more time indoors, close our windows and doors, and have less ventilation in the house. So often the indoor allergies are worse during autumn and winter. The timing can be different. For example, a dust mite allergy is worse when we are spending time with our enemy, the dust mite, and that tends to be around bedtime when we're sleeping with fluffy pillows and duvets and blankets.
Now, Professor, before spring officially hits tomorrow, how can we arm ourselves against these allergens, and are there any do's and don'ts we should be aware of? And is there enough time? I mean, it's coming tomorrow. How long before should we prepare for these allergens?
Okay, so we're cutting it pretty fine. So number one, be aware what you're allergic to. So if you've had problems last season, it's a great idea to go and visit an allergist to find out exactly what you're allergic to so you know what to expect over the allergy season. Number two, once you know what you're allergic to, preempt your treatment. So we actually suggest starting your treatment a few days or weeks before the season is expected to start. So you sort of prepare your nose and your throat and your airways for this onslaught that you're about to encounter. And then number three, once you find yourself in your pollen season, obviously try to take steps to reduce your exposure to whatever you're allergic to. So if you're grass allergic, if you have the option of having artificial grass in your garden, it's a good option. Try not to be the one mowing the lawn. It's the one excuse you can have for not having to mow the lawn. Be careful at dawn and dusk when your pollen levels are high. Try and be indoors during that time. For the kids with pollen allergies, we tell them when they've played outside or they've played their cricket match, as soon as they get home, they take their clothes off their shower and they get changed, because obviously you can carry pollen on your clothes. So that's then the avoidance. And then the medication we've talked about. So you continue that throughout your seasonal allergy. And then lastly is the concept of desensitization, which is quite a specialist procedure where you're giving the allergen to try in a very controlled way to try and make you less responsive to it in the long term.
Ooh, Professor Claudia Gray, really, you are brilliant, and that's why I trust you so much. Thank you for making the time to chat to us. This has been so insightful. We really appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure.
Now, with spring just around the corner, allergy attacks will be on the rise. They really will be. But with the right care and management, allergy symptoms can be kept at bay. You really can help yourself. We all deserve to enjoy life allergy-free, and Allergex Non-Drowsy can assist you with allergy relief for the entire day.
Free to be you. Live, work, play, sleep, allergy-free with Allergex Non-Drowsy.
So we've had the pleasure this morning of meeting the phenomenal journalist Shantini Naidu behind the brilliant book Women in Solitary, describing a unique story of 7 women who have really helped lay the foundation through the struggle against apartheid for our modern democracy. But we're going to shift lanes and we're going to join Jamie and Shantini now for some yoga.
You are still coming to us live. I'm all the way in Johannesburg with author and journalist Shantini Naidu with her book Women in Solitary, and we are so grateful to be able to wake up with Shantini this morning. She's going to be taking us through her morning routine of some yoga. Shantini, I've been able to see you juggle it all this morning, taking the kids out for school, then of course being an author and a journalist. Why is yoga so important for you?
Although I've been really not practicing properly during the lockdown, I find the morning yoga and some meditation really helps with the mental fortitude to try and get through the day. It actually takes a little time, but it helps you to sustain your energy throughout the day.
Well, you've prepared a nice little flow session for us. I'm very excited to try yoga. It's just been about a month that I started yoga for the very first time. You're the pro, so I'm going to let you and Cynthia lead this.
Okay.
Great. Let's come to the center of the mat. Everyone stand in mountain pose, feet together. Pull in your abdominal muscles, tuck in your gluteus muscles, lifting up from your chest, roll your shoulders down. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Now place your hands in front of your heart center, palm to palm. Inhale. And on an exhalation, take your hands wide and up, all the way looking up at the sky. Inhale. On an exhalation, bring your palms down in front of your nose, up to your heart center. Lean forward to the halfway mark. Now take your hands down and place it in front of your feet as if you're cupping an orange, fingers wide. Take a deep breath in. On an exhalation, walk your hands to either side of your feet. Take your head down, bending your elbows. Uttanasana, half forward fold. Inhale. On an exhalation, bend your knees, resting your abdomen on your thighs. Step back with your right hand, your right foot. Lift up your chest, smile. Happy faces up. Take your hands up, all the way up. Low warrior lunge. Inhale and exhale. As women, we're always juggling, so you are a warrior. As a woman, breathe in. And on an exhalation, lifting up slightly, turn your body facing forward, swiveling on your right foot into warrior two. Take your gaze over your left hand. Hold the pose. Do not forget to breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. And now slowly turn your body facing forward. Take the palms of your hands down on either side of your left foot. Step back with your left foot into plank. Inhale. On an exhalation, bending your elbows close to your sides, come down into Chaturanga Dandasana, four-limbed staff. Now take your abdomen muscles to the floor, flatten your feet, lift up your chest, Bhujanga Asana, Cobra pose. Inhale. On an exhalation, extending those forearms, lifting knees and thighs off the ground. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. This strengthens your forearms, holding, bending your toes, lifting your buttocks into the air. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. This is excellent for lower back problems. Inhale. And on an exhalation, look at the space between your hands. Step forward with your right foot. Now bring your left foot to join. Keep your fingertips in front of your toes. Inhale and exhale. Now place your hands onto your shins, extending forward, lengthening your spine. Inhale. On an exhalation, bring your hands palm to palm in front of your heart center and slowly come up. Well done. We're going for the second round. Inhale. On an exhalation, take your hands wide and take it up all the way. Inhale. On an exhalation, bring your palms in front of your heart center. Lean forward, lengthening into your spine to the halfway mark. Now take your fingertips down in front of your toes.
I think we are definitely going to continue this yoga flow session, and I think we worked out quite a sweat and quite the appetite. In a moment, we're going to be making a chickpea omelette. You want to stay tuned for that. More of this on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Let's go down, ladies.
Step back with your left leg. Place your hands firmly on either side. Only you can make my day. It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. You're still locked in. It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Now, of course, with it being Monday, we are also talking relationships. And of course, today, therapist, speaker, and trainer Asha Dulab is joining us this morning to help us discuss feminism and patriarchy in South Africa and the ways in which we can work together to respect each other as well as humanity. So, Asha, I've got to ask, of course, how has feminism in South Africa kind of, I guess, evolved in a sense of like, what would it do if it was to actually heal a society? But more so, how has it evolved to the current status now?
It has come a long way. It has really evolved, and yet there's still much to do. I think that there's been so many great campaigns, restorative care for both men and women. Looking back at the Me Too campaign, it's really brought about so much awareness, so much freedom of speech. And a healed society will be all about freedom, a freedom to feel a sense of belonging, freedom to feel, to do, to speak, to love. And it needs to come from a place of love, where we involve both men and women in this. It cannot be something separate. It has to be something where we really embrace the stories and the narratives of both men and women.
I really love that answer. And I know earlier during the break we were chatting about it. And I personally, as a man, am struggling with a few things when it comes to feminism. I'm a man that maybe wants to support the cause. I have every intention to be a part of that solution, but I'm not always, and I'm sure I can share the sentiment with a lot of other males out there, we're not always confident in how exactly we can practically actually help. I mean, you're speaking about creating awareness. We want to talk about these topics and have these discussions, but in a practical sense, what more can we actually do to assist this process or to be a part of that solution, so to speak?
We have to really be able to recognize our patterns in our thinking and our feelings. I think that we want to do it, but I think we are trying to do it from a back foot. I think there's a lot of people walking on eggshells around this topic, so I think we need to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. Because there's a lot of, there's a movement from I don't care to I care. So there is a lot happening in the support. I think men need to support women and women need to embrace the support from the men, because as you can hear, I mean, men want to support women like yourself.
I think with that note, I think it's definitely the case. We do want to, we just don't know how. So maybe, ladies, if you do see us stumbling with our words and trying to help, but it doesn't come across correctly, I think we need to just be a little bit maybe more understanding. And like you said, I feel that effect of the eggshells itself, and mentioning the fact of just having that discussion, I think, is already the first step in the right direction. So. Patriarchy, as we were chatting about earlier, and feminism, very strong emotions when it comes to people. The current perception we have here today, is it something that's healthy, or how far away are we from that in terms of our actual understanding?
Well, firstly, it has to be emotional, and rightfully so. I mean, we are dealing with the fundamental right of a woman to feel like a complete human being, so it will be emotionally loaded. And we must remember that our emotions are stored on the cellular level of our bodies, so we also feel it in our bodies. Our whole bodies experience this emotion. And with that, I mean, we need to really, again, go back to our patterns, our thinking, our individual psyche, as well as our collective psyche, and really get an understanding about it in order to really understand why it's so explosive. But I mean, we are dealing with emotions of fear, of shame, and of guilt. So those are explosive emotions that are quite layered and complex.
And would you suggest it's something that we can entertain? Is it something that we should express outwardly, or is it something we just keep inside and kind of deal with? Or what would your suggestion be?
Definitely, we're needing far more expression of emotion. And I think it is happening. More and more people are speaking the language of emotion these days, and men and women hand in hand. And I think that it's what's important is that we need to take a little step back and look at how we raise our children, because we need to really focus on what are we saying to our kids, what are the stories and narratives that we are reading to our kids at home, because our kids are our future. What kids are learning will actually will speak volumes for the evolution.
I think it's a beautiful message, and just for males out there, I think to get more involved in your own emotion, it's something that doesn't really affect who you are as a man. If anything, it just kind of empowers it. And just to finish off, do you think, I mean, I'm finding so much beauty within this whole concept of feminism. Do you think it's the perfect tool for us to really create that solution that we're speaking about that goes against things like gender-based violence and everything else that's negative that we're experiencing? Do you think it's the right methodology and the way forward for us?
Absolutely, it is an effective tool. It's opening up so much observation on the top. People are looking and listening more. People are embracing emotional language. They are, there's so much more expanded awareness. There's a lot of doing. There's a lot of sense of achievement from women in all of these campaigns. Women are feeling far more empowered, and people are taking responsibility. There's a responsibility from both the male and the female. So, I mean, there's a sense of belonging, there's a sense of connection, there's engagements, we are building communities. So there's lots happening, and it's a great tool.
All right, the time is now. The accountability is here, so it's time to step up, gents and ladies. Usher, I can't thank you enough for joining us in the studio and obviously just educating me and the rest of the men out there, which I think cannot do with more and more of this information. So we hope that beyond this Women's Month, we all continue to strive towards a nation where we all feel safe and valued.
Since the early 1900s, Manana women's organizations have been providing vital community service and activism through their churches. Identifiable by their bright red, black and white regalia, their importance and role has often been overlooked and reduced.
And a new book called Mothers of the Nation sets to change that perspective. And we're joined via video call by its author, lecturer at Wits School of Governance, Lihle Ngobozi, to learn more about the feminism enacted by this powerful group of women. Lihle, good morning and thank you so much for making the time to chat to us.
Good morning and thank you so much for having me.
I don't know if you can hear, but we are being treated to the most auspicious rainstorm outside, an absolute blessing. So we have been blessed in our discussion with you this morning. But I've got to say, first of all, wonderful to meet you. Thank you so much for creating this beautiful piece of history, or at least marking history-making moments. What struck you about the Manana organizations in South Africa, and what compelled you to write about them?
So my grandmother, actually, who raised me, she was, and still is, part of the Manana group down in KZN, where I'm originally from. And to be honest, I really did not have much of an interest in it when I was younger and I was growing up. But it was only when I started in my academic career at the master's level that I thought, hang on, there's something happening here that is particularly interesting about this group of women. And I really wanted to explore beyond the history of missionary imposition and colonialism and the debates around how Christianity is an imported concept. I really wanted to find ways to think differently about the ways in which Black women interact with religion.
Lihle, I think at the core of your book is the intention to sort of challenge perceptions and ideas. And I think I have to ask you this. What perceptions do South Africans have about Manana women, and how does your book set out to change that?
I mean, I think we all think very fondly of Omama Manana, specifically within the Black community. I think we all, at one point, have interacted with Omama Manana or have been in close contact with Omama Manana, either in our churches or at home, through whether it's our mothers, our grandmothers, our aunts, or anybody else that is related to us. And the perception really has been that Omama Manana are praying women, church women, what we call Omama Bomtandazo, and which is a true and accurate representation. However, there's something broader than that, specifically when we think about the history of liberation movements in South Africa and how the Black church was quite critical in forming part of the broad-based liberation structures in South Africa.
I suppose it speaks to a larger narrative that we are seeing more of now, of how often women have been overlooked within the church, within political movements, within science, within all levels of life. You've taken a look at this community, as you've said, from the feminist perspective. Maybe you can expand on what prompted you to make that choice, to read them in this way specifically, and what were some of your findings that support the feminism of the Manana methodology?
So I used the feminist framework just to provide specifically a greater theoretical understanding of how we can understand the ways in which women operate politically and the ways in which we can infer different meanings into the ways in which women interact with the state, the ways in which women interact also politically and specifically around this group. And it really expands our understanding around how women make use of matriarchal institutions such as Manana, and how women make use of their identities of womanhood and motherhood. And I think it's important, specifically when we try to look at Black women's use of motherhood and matriarchal identities. It's important to not fall into the trap of Western understandings of what gender roles are meant to be. And in this book, I really show that there really is a significant difference in the ways in which marginalized women and marginalized subjectivity, specifically Black people, make use of motherhood in political ways and in ways in which aren't restricted to the constraints of gender roles and the ways in which motherhood is seen.
I have a feeling eyes are going to be opened, and amazing to look at it through that lens. I think very shrewd to focus on it in the way that you have, paying homage, I think, where it is certainly due. Lihle, thank you so much for giving us some of your insights, and congratulations on what it must have been quite a mammoth feat compiling this. I hope you get to really enjoy now as other people start to disseminate this. But well done, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, beautiful stuff. That glorious intersection between spirituality and politics, and how the women of Umanyano organizations across the country have played a role in that space. But of course, if you'd like to read more of Lihle's fascinating study of the Manyano women, her book, Mothers of the Nation, is now available from all leading online and bookstores, physical ones, from today.
I think all the gents out in the studio this morning are absolutely appreciating the education when it comes to that empowerment and everything that affects women for this month. And at the end of Women Month, of course, we wanted to ensure that we keep honoring our powerful and courageous sisters and mothers. So we're running a competition, giving away a copy of Shantani's book, Woman in Solitary, as well as a copy of Heart of a Strong Woman by Lihle Mbisi, who will be interviewing towards the end of the show. So now to enter, simply reply to our competition post on Facebook and tell us which woman in your life inspires you. And now remember, the competition ends at midday, so get entering. And of course, your terms and conditions can be found on expressoshow.com.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yeah. Welcome back. It's been a superb show. It really has been empowering, certainly educational for the gents in studio this morning. So hopefully you felt the same. And returning to the conversation that's been running throughout the narrative of the show this morning, we asked you guys to explain to us what women empowerment means to you and how best you think it can be accomplished. What needs to be done to accomplish that? And we've had some wonderful comments, very insightful comments coming through.
Yeah, the first one from Daniela Govender, who says, "Good morning, Expresso team. Women empowerment is giving women a sense of self-worth and encouraging each other. We rise as we lift each other up." I suppose that speaks to the broader nation, is that as people, and it's the world really, globally, when we rise together and we take everybody along with it, that we all move in the same direction.
Make it a collective, yeah. Then let's say Ketche saying, "Good morning, guys. Women empowerment is all about helping each other, giving each other time and advising each other, other woman. We are strong, just need to tell one another that on a daily basis.
I love that. That's reaffirming constantly. Ethan Morey says, women empowerment, they support where they can. Woman is the strongest human form I know. So true. I say to all the women, you are the best. I appreciate every child, every woman, girl that God created. Hashtag Expresso Morning Show.
I'm glad that so many gents also weighed in on the conversation this morning. So thank you so much for joining us for what has been a wonderful journey of education. And I think hopefully now we are starting to reinforce the right kind of triggers in society. It is a conversation that needs to run continuously, and it needs to be one that men are having as much as women.
We've got to be open-minded to learn and to grow and to improve as people. Cheers.
Indeed, gents, of course, finishing off this month with a bang. And we're still joining in with Shantini and Jamie. They're going to be doing something a little bit different when it comes to cooking in the kitchen. And they've got an omelette prepared for us, but with a little bit of a twist. So why don't we take a little squiz at what Jamie's up to with Shantini and see what's cooking.
Well, I'm sure you're missing out this morning because we had such a beautiful yoga flow session with you and, of course, Cynthia this morning. But now it's time to get into the kitchen, and you're making us a chickpea omelette, and I'm saying omelette in inverted commas because it's not made with eggs.
Yes, it's actually a vegan or vegetarian omelette which we make with chickpea flour, which is really high in protein, super healthy, and very quick for mornings for the girls.
Absolutely. Like I said this morning, we had such a rush. The girls are back to school this morning, so everything is prep, it's fast. So I'm looking forward to see how you make this omelette. Take us through the recipe.
It's really simple. It's a cup of chickpea flour.
Just put it in there, right there.
Just in there, a little bit of salt.
Okay.
And chickpea flour is a great carrier of flavor, so you can add spices to it if you want to. But I'm adding nutritional yeast today, which is also high in vitamin B1. A little bit of baking powder so that it fluffs up. And then a pureed vegetable, tomato, good for also for the rising, but I sometimes add baby marrows or whatever the girls feel like. Spinach is also good.
Oh yes, some good vitamin C. And I'm sure the boys back in studio is literally being like, okay, Jamie, you having all the fun. And I have to say, you have such a good balance of life, you know, yoga, cooking a healthy meal, also being an author, a journalist. The book is obviously, we're running an amazing competition on our Facebook post where you are able to actually win the book. But for those that is not going to be fortunate to win the book, how can everyone get their hands on Women in Solitary?
So we in all good bookstores, the little bookstores and the big ones, and definitely online for the COVID, pandemic-friendly delivery to your door. So it's everywhere. You can find it now.
Okay, so we're whisking all of that together.
Yes, and it's done. And we just have to throw it into the pan, and you can use fillings as you would in an ordinary omelette. I've got tomato and mushroom today.
Love that. And I love that you can play around with it. You can put whatever the child or whatever the husband wants in there.
Yes.
And someone also said that it's all about the pan, which I'm sure Chef Clem also, our in-house chef, always tells us the pan is the main thing.
Yes.
So always make sure that the pan is hot, right?
Yes, and super non-stick if you can, because it does need to be, it does take some lifting. It's a bit of a trick, but I haven't even used any oil, and I've got an amazing non-stick pan, so it should be.
I'm loving the color on it. I'm loving that, you're getting all the nutrients in. It looks. You made it look too simple. I feel like I should take this recipe and teach everyone at home.
This recipe, my best friend, who's vegetarian, had practiced and worked out the ingredients very well. So I promise you it takes 5 minutes. And I blitzed the tomato in my NutriBullet, so it's literally from start to finish should take 10 minutes.
I love it.
And this one's just about ready.
Brown color.
Oh, and we're gonna try.
Yes, there we go. Oh,
That's good.
That is perfect. I mean, first attempt, okay, that's the first attempt. Second attempt, that golden color. Let us just take a moment. I feel like the next book is probably going to be a cookbook then, okay?
I can't say I disagree with you. I really, food and nutrition is a very big part of our lives as well. And I would love to. Sure, for me, the cooking is a de-stressor and winding down at the end of the day.
Listen, thank you so much for welcoming us into your beautiful home. Your book, Women in Solitary, is inspiring so many women out there as we wrap up Women's Month. Again, allowing us in your space, taking us through your yoga flow, taking us through a very easy recipe. We had such a beautiful morning with you, so thank you so much for that.
Thank you guys for being here, and I hope that whoever gets to read the book will enjoy it, and please send me feedback. We're on social media as well.
Absolutely, you heard that. Send all the feedback. Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. Jamie Domberg signing out for now. Back to you guys in studio.
Thank you so much, Jamie Lee Domberg, for all of that. It's been so wonderful connecting with you out in Johannesburg. Now, we know that every Friday, Jared Ricketts and Roderick McKay, they present 3 songs that they have prepared for Gospel Monday on Expresso's Facebook and Twitter pages. It's always fantastic. We always look forward to it. And the winning songs this week are What a Beautiful Name It Is, which he performed earlier on. And, of course, Here I Am, Lord, which is coming up. Hopefully, this selection has kept you uplifted as you get into a brand new week as we enter the month of September this week as well. Now, here's something for you to do at home. Record yourself performing to What a Beautiful Name It Is and post it on our social media pages, Expresso Morning Show, SABC3, that's our Facebook, and your video could be aired live on Expresso next week, Monday. Who knows, that could be your few seconds of fame. But now it's time for the performance, Jared Ricketts and Roderick McKay. Here I Am, Lord. Take it away.
Thank you.
The Lord of sea and sky, I have heard my people cry, all who dwell in dark and sin, on my hand will save. I who made the stars of night, I will make their darkness bright. Who will bear my light to them? Whom shall I send? Here I am, Lord. Is it I, Lord? Bread I will provide till their hearts be satisfied. I will give my life to them. Whom shall I send? Here I am, Lord. Is it I,
Expresso show, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.